would have thought that Persona 5 was complete fiction from those memes that you guys were sharing to me after the recent unpleasantness, we will call it.
Once everyone finds out he's a criminal, nobody's gonna vote for him.
Dang you. Dang you, Ryuji. You lied to me, and I will never forgive you. Nah, I'm kidding, Ryuji. I love you. Anyway.
It's okay. Persona is just for developmentally arrested weebs. It's all good.
Hey, you like Persona 5.
Did I lie?
Yeah, but are you telling on yourself? Okay. Anyway, folks, welcome back to Off the Balcony. We have quite the loaded show for you because we have had quite the loaded October and first half of November. It's been a busy time for us, folks, but we are very happy to be back in studio with all of you. To all of our, in the words of Dr. Evil, some of you I know, some of you I'm meeting for the first time. So yeah, it's been a busy time, folks. So why don't we talk about our first big event, which was our trip to NebraskaCon.
Yeah. Remember when we went to Amkey back in March, and after Waifu Wars, we talked about how somebody that was a con chair for NebraskaCon came up to us after, and he told us that he wanted us to be there.
Yep.
And we went there.
And he got us in basically for free. So that was extremely nice of this person. I have his name down, and I'll be sure to give him a shout out at some point during the podcast. But why don't we talk about what our adventure to NebraskaCon was actually like? And
you drove 6 hours.
Drove 6 hours.
Both ways, uphill in the snow.
Thank God not in the snow, because I've driven in Iowa in the middle of a snowstorm. It is not fun, kids.
But there's nothing.
Plan your vacations
but
wisely.
There's nothing there. That's the point.
Yeah, there's nothing there. When you get past like Davenport, I-80 really does become that kind of highway to heaven, where it's just these big long hills that are cut out of the sort of.
I think the most interesting thing we saw on the way back home was a hot air balloon.
Yeah, and we were in Illinois when we saw that. We were only about a few miles outside of Galesburg when we saw that, but...
Oh, I must have been asleep then.
Yeah, you were asleep. I couldn't sleep on the way home because my ass hurt.
Yeah, but yeah, the drive was fine. It was just boring and long, so, it was what it was. But we landed, we had some time to kind of unwind. We had sort of a busy night that night. We did...
Yeah, I think most of our panels were on Friday night.
Yeah, everything we did on Friday was on Friday night. So we did... the first thing we did was our anime movie panel for NebraskaCon, and that was great. I was a bit disappointed by the turnout, but...
I think we were competing against other things that night.
We were competing against other things, so, it was what it was. And then...
It was nice we got to talk about some more of the things on there than compared to what we did at UICon.
Yeah, added some stuff like Persona 5.
And we actually knew about the Bunny Girl Senpai movies to talk about them.
Yeah.
I think I've had them on the UICon movie panel, but I hadn't seen them either at that time, so all I could say was, yep, they just continued the light novels where they left off.
Sure, yeah. And I hadn't seen the show one way or the other, so I couldn't really speak to it. But now, having seen basically everything that Bunny Girl Senpai has produced up to this point, I was able to, speak more authoritatively on that.
Another season next year.
Yep. So I've been told. And then we got to do my new favorite panel right now, having done it twice with you guys, the Cursed Media panel.
Yeah.
The Cursed Media panel.
Yeah, NebraskaCon was our debut of that panel, and I think the only thing is that we didn't get through all of it.
Mm-hmm. We kind of got wrapped around a couple of axles. Not
I think we just spent a little bit too much time explaining the surface level things.
Yeah. We'll talk about
Yeah, we did that panel iceberg style and got a bit too caught up in the upper levels.
What was your guys' favorite reaction to that panel?
I really loved it when we did our sound check to Puddle of Mud covering Nirvana.
That's always a good one.
That everyone just cringing as we were testing the sound was probably just my favorite bit
I
of it.
couldn't stop laughing because of how he tries to sing through Kurt Cobain's high notes. This is Wes Scantlin, by the way. Yeah, and then we played "When Doves Cry" by
Metallica.
yeah, well, by
Two members of
Kirk Hammett and Robert Trujillo.
They had the little doodle, and
That's what they call it.
I think some of my favorite reactions we've got for Curse Media is for the RSPCA doggy in the window.
That was my favorite because
Just watching the faces, like you can tell the exact moment when the gun gets pulled out.
yeah, folks, if you don't know what we're talking about, there's this famous, this infamous ad
from the British RSPCA.
Yeah, like their version of the Humane Society, where
I'll add that video in the upper corner for
yeah,
people
put
to
it
check
up
it
in the
out.
cards because it's only 30 seconds long, but basically
It's like an instrumental version of How Much Is That Doggy in the Window. It's like a cute puppy on screen. Then eventually a gun gets pulled out from the corner.
yeah, the gun gets lowered into the doggy's face, and it's like, please give us a pound, or we'll have to pull the trigger. It's like, and it's a famous ad because it's been going around the internet quite a bit lately. As just like, it's like the message of the ad is like, please adopt, so we don't have to.
It's like either donate money or adopt animals from our shelters.
You're right, yeah. Because it's true, like, you know, they had like no kill shelters back in those days, but
Like, I think the way you euthanize is with the drugs, not just shooting them point blank.
well, it's about the
Modern problems require modern solutions.
it's about the visceral imagery of it, but yeah, it got such a backlash that they eventually came out with a re-edit of that commercial.
Where it just shows the cute puppy with just a voiceover of just, it's like, raising dogs costs a lot of money.
Yeah, which is actually funny because it's completely opposite to what the tone of the original ad was, where it's like the new edit of the ad is like be mindful of how much it costs to take care of a dog, where the original ad was, hey, you need to take care of dogs or we're gonna have to kill them. But yeah, I loved Cursed Media. I'll save some of the more funny reactions when we get to Inked, because I think that's where we really got this panel right, and I really love doing it at Inked. But anyway, NebraskaCon Day 2.
Did we do anything else on Friday of NebraskaCon?
Not really. I think we...
Or was it just those two panels?
Yeah, it was just those two panels.
Okay.
And then...
No, we didn't do Anime Out of Pocket, did we?
No, we didn't have that one.
No. Saturday was normal. Because we booked it all inclusive, we got breakfast with our hotel room, which
You drove 6 hours one way. Might as well get breakfast, right?
yeah, might as well get breakfast. We did our Lupin cosplay, our Lupin group cosplay for the first time.
I actually did go through my notes app, and I actually still do have the NebraskaCon schedule that I made for myself saved. So
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
those actually were the only two panels we did.
Oh, good. So yeah, we did our Lupin group cosplay. I was the man himself, Lupin. My girlfriend Heather was Zenigata.
She got to chase you around.
Yep, she got to chase me around, and we took some pretty cute pictures, like me kissing her on the cheek, and she just looks so which is very much a Lupin and Zenigata dynamic. But you two got to...
Yeah, we were the best boys.
Yeah.
I was Jingen and Hannah was
Goemon,
yes.
Yeah. And... yeah, so we walked around. We didn't get a lot of recognition, but I think that's okay because, you know, we still had fun being in the costumes.
Yeah, definitely want to bring that group cosplay back sometime.
Oh, definitely. What was our first art?
Yeah.
I know we had a panel earlier.
Oh yeah, it was my Love Live panel.
Right, which that has kind of a funny story to it in hindsight because of the way it turned out.
Yeah. It's started out like how Honoka, Umi, and Kotori started, where it's just the three of us in an empty room.
Yeah.
Then, well, luckily, there's somebody from the Love Live server that we're in that went to NebraskaCon, so I just sent them a message. They're like, "Hey, where are you?" And then they showed up.
Yeah, and we ended up with about 5 people as an audience in that room. But the good news is the 5 people in that audience were like Love Live diehards, so it made the it made the show go much better. I would say.
Can I backtrack to Cursed Media, right?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Because I remember right when we were wrapping up Cursed Media, we came up to the show. Oh, what was it?
Oh, Hi, honey, I'm home.
No, not that one. It was it was the anime where the girls are just boobs.exe.
Oh, Aiken.
Aiken, yeah. So the next panelist over there, one of them was, I saw them out of the corner of my eye. One of them was confused about it, and the other one said, "The girls look like this, and you just did this." The guy's like, regular head, and then boom. He was like giant fucking crescent from his
crescent
from his
It's a neck to
yeah. He went from about
neck to the waist.
collarbone probably down to his waist, and that I saw that out of the corner of my eye. I just died laughing. So that's like my favorite one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
if you don't know, just Google Aiken, Eikeen.
yeah, it's certainly it's certainly an anime that existed.
There's this high school girl, except she's got huge boobs.
Yeah,
Some real Hanaka Gonga 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 Longa ghosts.
this sake is definitely tasting something.
Yeah, so maybe I should mix this sake. Why do I always keep buying sake, even though I hate the taste of it?
I don't know. Maybe you're on brand for being a weeb.
Yeah, I'm trying to have my Kikuri moment, but it's just not clicking.
Yeah. So, moving on, we did Waifu Wars that night. We did Angst and Regret. That was the next thing we did, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, before we did Angst and Regret, we also went to a few voice actor panels.
That's
too.
right. And the one that,
Well, me and Steven went to Aaron Dismuke's one.
Oh god, that was hilarious.
Which was kind of I mean, it was great for us, but it was a disaster for him because...
All right.
Oh, you want to tell the story?
I got this, yes. So we were the way NebraskaCon's set up is that they're in partitioned rooms. So the walls aren't really solid walls. They're really more just like hollow metal walls with carpet thrown between them. And so we were in one room with Aaron Dismuke, and then on the other side of the room was Guess the Anime theme, and they decided in their ultimate wisdom to, I mean, it probably was a pretty good idea on paper, but in their ultimate wisdom, they decided to perform the song via kazoo. And Aaron was barely holding on. So, like, every time there'd be a quiet moment when he's like, everyone's like listening to him, and he like brings the story down to like a pause, you just hear a kazoo go off in the middle of it. And Aaron Dismuke is like one of those easily distracted people. So you hear the kazoo go off, and you just see him like do like a 90-degree turn the first time he hears it.
Poor man was suffering.
Which, I mean, the questions fielded were great. Hannah had asked him a pretty decent question, I think. I don't remember what it was, though.
Just because I had Lupin the Third on my brain, I asked him, so if you could be part of any just long-running series that gets shit tons of adaptations, what would you want to be part of? And he said that he just got casted in Dragon Ball Daima.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
he's officially part of Dragon Ball now.
How about that?
Apparently he's the character that's basically like Goku's quest giver.
Mm.
And my question, which was I think was the very next question, was, "Hey Aaron, buddy, how are you holding up with those kazoos back there?" And he was about to probably pop off if it wasn't like an all ages panel. He's like, "I'm fine, thank you for your concern."
Nice.
I did meet up with him afterwards. I think Hannah was like in the bathroom or something, and I was like, so can you give me the real answers about the kazoos? And he's like, I hated them.
Oh, I'm sure he did, because they kept like screwing with his focus. I mean, we did do Lost Media.
Yep, I was just about to say that. Like, right before the next voice actor panel we did, we had my Lost Media panel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was... I finally got to do that with 2023, 2024 updates.
Yeah. And again, I'm sorry that I didn't edit the panel correctly.
It's all right.
but-
At least we had time to get the other file in and just go back and do the new ones.
Yeah, but I personally always love when you do lost media because
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for lost media, and
I think that is one I kind of get like a little bit of imposter syndrome with, because people always come up to me afterwards and ask me like, "So what searches have you been a part of?" Like, "Oh, I don't actually do any of the searches. I just like watching the YouTube videos."
see, the thing is, you don't do the searches, and the lost media that I'm looking for, there's not a chance in hell that it exists anymore. See, the lost media that Hannah tends to focus on is like
Yeah.
stuff that could be recorded on like analog technology, like VHS recorders, that sort of stuff.
And DVD, because that's analog now.
Oh yeah, and yeah, so talk about aging. But the stuff that I'm mainly interested in, and I bring this up at the panel whenever we do it, is mainly like silent film, so like film from pre-1928, and there's almost no chance that any of that stuff, like really, unless you get like hugely lucky and it's like sitting in the basement of an old movie theater or something, you basically have no chance.
I mean, one of the ones I talked about in my new update was one where there was a documentary about the Amazon rainforest that was like filmed over 3 years in like 1918 to sometime in the 20s. That like before it got released, it was stolen by the director's partner and then like given a new name and screened in England, and like about 100 years later, somebody found it in this some European country where it was mislabeled as an American movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Like it's how Nosferatu survived, because an American, like, it was made in Germany and then they screened it in America, and then when when the widow of Bram Stoker ordered all the prints destroyed, guess what the American film companies did? They stuck up both their middle fingers and said, "Nice try. We're not complying." The only problem was those copies were edited copies, so there wasn't like an original copy that existed for a long time until they found other like fragments and were able to piece the movie back together and restore it. So fortunately, it is back in its full form. But yeah, that's thank goodness America just doesn't listen to European law, I guess.
I think
The only law is American law, because it's the best law and the only law we care about.
Yes, so saith Bandit Keith from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Be the American the Japanese think you are.
I think my favorite new thing that I put on the Lost Media panel was the British Doraemon dub.
Oh yeah, where they're all,
MTV UK decided to try their hands at dubbing anime by getting Doraemon, the beloved Japanese children's show character, and doing like a raunchy piss take dub of it.
yeah, they do, and they do it in like the thickest Cockney
Yeah.
accents, like
You grab my blue knob, you grab my red knob.
yeah, that kind of stuff.
It's like they try to do ghost stories before ghost stories came out.
Yeah, except they weren't as
Good.
Well, not as good, but also weren't being as self-aware about it.
I can't read this book. If only I knew Japanese. Oh wait, no, it's like, I can't read this. It's in Japanese.
That was actually a pretty funny joke. But I liked your explanation of Turn On, because like I didn't realize that Turn On was ever lost. I just thought that Turn On was like this. I knew it was like this failed Australian, like, I guess it was like sketch comedy.
Yeah, it's a sketch comedy where their whole premise is all the jokes are written by a computer. Which, they're so bad. It was like one of the first shows to get canceled while it was still airing.
Right, midway through its first broadcast.
Yeah, apparently people the show came back from commercial and just another show was on.
Yeah, which rest in peace to the Turn On fandom.
Yeah, which I think it was either this year or like the end of last year. Somebody on YouTube uploaded the first episode, the one that actually aired the next episode that was supposed to air after that, and then a third episode that nobody knew even existed.
Right. Yeah. I think that was actually the same with kind of doing a bit of cross panel cross panel examination. Heil Honey I'm Home actually had that because the first episode is completely up on YouTube, but they filmed 8. So one aired to its entirety, I might add. One aired and 7 others, I mean the show was canceled after the first episode, but 7 other episodes were filmed. And I don't believe that those are out. If they are out, feel free to correct me in the comments, or if you guys find out, let me know.
The new Lost Media search, Heil Honey I'm Home.
Yeah. Do something productive with your time and try to find the TV show where they tried to pass off Hitler as a loving family man.
Try to make Hitler the new Jackie Gleason.
Right, yeah, which is funny because the real Jackie Gleason actually appeared in Cursed Media. But so yeah, I really like the edits that you did to the Lost Media panel, and of course, huge reaction. We got so many people in that room.
Yeah, I know. I always get scared to do my Lost Media panel, even though I always fill the room every single time.
I think there's a real demand for it. Like, there are people who are like, "Hey, I remember seeing this thing. Maybe we can talk it out, and maybe you saw it somewhere. Maybe you know what I'm talking about." I mean,
which people kept asking me to talk about ulterior motives. Like, no, this is an all-ages panel. That's that one Lost song that ended up being from a porno.
Oh, right.
I thought it was like something like really dark. I kind of got concerned.
So yeah, Lost Media went great as usual. And then we got to meet an actual bona fide celebrity. I mean, all the anime voice actors are celebrities, but let's be real.
Mr. ProZD.
ProZD himself, his real name being
Sun Wong Cho.
Yeah, Sun Wong Cho.
I forget Sung Won or Sun Wong.
Sun Wong Cho. We got to meet him and his room was super crowded. Like,
standing room only.
Yeah, standing room.
Yeah, we had to sit against the wall.
I mean, you guys said I wanted to stand because I was, tired of sitting. Like, I tend to get kind of antsy, so
I mean, near the end of that panel, they kind of made us sit down in rows. So
yeah, I was just getting a little tired.
Yeah, I get you. But yeah, getting to meet ProZD was frankly a huge honor because I followed the guy. I think we've all followed him for years. My girlfriend was a huge fan, so it was nice to
I know. I see his vines and stuff pop up all the time when I was in like middle school, high school.
Yeah, so I've watched him for years, and to see him go from just like kind of doing these funny videos into being like a force in the anime industry is, quite an ascent and very well deserved. And I actually got to interact with him. I got to ask a question about an anime that he was in, an anime that I haven't shown these guys. You may have heard of it, 86.
Oh yeah, I haven't actually seen it, but I know the anime community talks about it. I've seen it talked about online a lot. They're saying it's like the next Attack on Titan.
It's very good. It's very popular. Far more popular than I gave it credit for when I watched it, because it actually has more staying power than I thought. But yes, Mr. Sun Wong Cho is in it as a general, which is not exactly the role that you might assume ProZD would play, but he plays it well. And I was like, hey, what was it like to play this, this military character? I mean, of course, big shock. I asked the question about what was it like to be the army guy, and he said that he had to learn how to basically learn how to do the military techno jargon and sell it in a way that was believable. And personally, I thought he did a great job. But there was someone in front of me, a few people in front of me, Steven and Hannah know who I'm talking about, who asked Mr. ProZD the dumbest question in the room.
I'll have to talk about that too.
Do you want to tell the story?
Sure.
I mean, I've already talked about the my 86 question, so yeah, go ahead.
So everyone knows. God damn it! I hate that I even remember this. Because when I drank it away. But one dude who's sculpted like a Greek fucking statue.
Look very frat boyish, if I'm being honest with you.
He goes into the mic, holds it like a can of beer, and is like, "You ever watch Talk to Her?" And he's like, "What's that?" It's a good show.
He even reiterated it. He said, "Talk to a," like trying to say, "Do I have you correctly? Is this what are you talking about?"
So I can't tell if Mr. Sun Wong Cho was just putting on a bit there, or if he genuinely had no idea what this dude was talking about. Which I'm kind of aiming towards the latter.
Oh, just had no idea. I
Yeah.
could see that. Probably he may have heard it in passing, but thought it was just a dumb internet meme, which it is a dumb internet meme. That because Jake Paul clearly wants to, get in nice with this girl. Hint, hint. He gave her a podcast, and tonight he's going to be murdered probably by Mike Tyson.
And nothing of value will be lost.
But so yeah, that guy was a few people in front of me. My interaction with Sun Wong Cho was amazing. But in between my interaction and Hannah's interaction, there was a whole tangent that even sucked all of us in, which was about the Runza.
Runza.
Yeah, the Runza.
Yeah. It always sounded like they were saying Brunza to me.
I mean, I looked it up. I saw that it was called, like, the chain is called Runza.
And the food is called Runza.
Yeah, which actually leads to one of the funnier things that was said.
I'm not going to a place called Runza to order the fries.
So
yeah, like every other person was talking about Runza. Now
which is
imagine,
apparently like the Iowa specialty.
Iowa, Nebraska.
yeah, it's like a mountain time delicacy, which is basically just a Western meat bun. Let's be honest.
Yeah, if you look this thing up, it actually looks pretty okay. And like Sun Wong Cho went to Runza after the convention and said it was.
No, it would be after his Q&A, he went over
After
there.
his Q&A, he went to one and said, "Yeah, it was actually pretty good," which is
everyone,
great.
the
But
funniest part was everyone's trying to tell him not to go get the Runza, but order the chicken at Runza. And he's
Well, they
like,
were
"I'm
saying-
not gonna go to Runza to order the chicken."
I'm not gonna go to Runza to get the fries.
I'm going to Runza to
To
get
get the Runza.
Which, leave it to Sun Wong Cho to make such a regional question become that. I wish that had been filmed, because that would be one of his. That's going to be his next shirt kind of thing. I'm going to Runza to get a Runza, and so yeah, we got some education in what a Runza is.
I just want to set the scene, right? Us four, I'm gonna say four because Heather was there.
Yeah,
We're from Illinois, right?
the middle of Illinois.
Yeah, we're beefing with New York about deep dish, all right? Which, by the way, deep dish is a pizza. Whatever New York has over there is complete garbage. And
it's okay. We've never been on the East Coast anyway. Chicago for life. Anyway,
I went to Manhattan once on a school trip.
we'll have to talk about that later.
So we're just sitting there culture shocked because we have no fucking idea what's going on.
We've never heard what a Runza actually is. I looked it up back in the hotel room. Apparently, it was kind of a meat bread dish that was brought over by German immigrants in the mid 19th century. A lot of them came to
Which is
Omaha.
really funny because there's a lot of Germans in Illinois too.
Yeah, it's like, wait, why didn't we get the Runza Germans? But
Because they runs away.
Yeah. So, Runza isn't just a type of food. It's also like a fast food, like a local fast food chain. You could think of it,
Like a Bojangles.
yeah, like a Bojangles or Cookout if you're from the Carolinas, or even Portillo's. That's pretty.
Or Bussies.
Oh fuck yeah.
I mean Bucky's, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Whenever the
you know
opportunity
how many
presents
people I
itself.
see on campus wearing Bucky, sweatshirts with the Bucky symbol on it? It's insane.
Yeah, there's a kid at the school I worked with on Thursday wearing a Bucky shirt.
Yeah, it's nuts. But anyway, Runza is kind of like the local. is kind of like the local. You gotta get one if you're near it, and it's pretty much located to just around that, basically within like a 100, 200-mile radius of Omaha, Nebraska, basically. But there are a lot of them. I looked it up. There's about 80 Runza restaurants, and Sun Wong Cho gave Runza his seal of approval.
Speaking of seals of approval, Hannah, what was your question?
Oh, yeah, Hannah
It's-
went up in line, too.
So it was kind of near the end of the panel. I had this question just kind of brewing in my mind for a while, but I just kind of got nervous to go up there until it was kind of like the last 15-ish minutes of the panel. It's like, okay, I'll go up there. So I just went up there, got in line. And my question was, because ProZD uploaded a video years ago where he ranked the Love Live girls, and he put Reen and the only ones I remember from that list, because there was a couple years since I watched it, he put Reen in dead last, had Ellie as his number 2, and Umi as his number 1 best girl.
Mm-hmm.
So
If there was an Umi in here right now, she'd be very happy, but there isn't.
So when it was my turn on the mic, got up there and said, so I watched your Love Live video years ago, so I just have to say, why Umi?
Oh, and his response was like,
He said that his tastes have changed over the years, and now Ellie is his best girl.
so your tastes haven't really changed all
And
that much.
Your number 2 just went to number 1.
Your hair color preferences have changed, Mr.
Which is funny because
ProZD.
the girl right behind me that was going to ask the question next said, oh, Umi's the best.
and I was like, you are wrong, but anyway.
I said Nico Nation, and he said, I had Nico near the top.
You know what? To be fair, he did have Nico near the top. He had no Zomi near the top, too.
But she wasn't number 1, therefore bad list. I just, we're shit talking Umi so much. There's gonna be one of these times where we go to like Magic or some shit
And
where
me Marine's going to be
yeah,
there.
me Green's gonna be up there because AEW has like an event somewhere near Rosemont. We're gonna be like, oh fuck.
Here,
Oh
I
yeah,
will-
guys. Me Marine had another baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
we have the Umi Baby Part 2.
And people are saying
Journey
that
to America.
The Me Marine Okada sons are gonna have to fight it out someday to see who gets the Rainmaker Junior title.
Right, yeah. But here's the thing.
Now, now would that be an American thing or be a Japanese thing?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. That's important because this is the first Love Live descendant who is an American citizen.
Oh, yeah.
By birthright, we now have a Love Liver. We have a Love Live descendant here. And it's from Umi. And I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna put you on the board, Umi Kotaro.
We have no idea if his name's actually Kotaro.
Umi's son could feasibly run for president.
Just give him another 35 years.
Yeah.
We could probably live long enough to see a Love Live president.
I mean, we already had like a wee prime minister in Japan anyway, so I think prime minister. I don't know.
True.
They got into the diet somehow.
So anyway, Sun Wong Cho was great. We kind of laid low for a little bit. We went and got some food. We then went to do Angst and Regret.
Yeah.
Angst and Regret was, of course, fun, and I really loved the updates that were done to it.
I figured you'd like them.
The 100 girlfriends that really, 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 really love you. I doubt it, but
I mean,
citation needed.
did I tell you what the person told me once they pulled us aside and out of the room?
No, you didn't tell me.
Oh, here we go. So the main reason why he has these amount of girlfriends is because this boy, like any other young man, wishes that in high school he would be a changed person and wants to get a girlfriend, you know.
Sure.
And God decided to answer his thing, but turned into Loki halfway through and said, "I'm gonna give this light to women, and you have to fall in love and marry this woman, and if you don't, you both die." However, he turns into Loki by throwing that light at 100 different women.
Oh.
And he's like, And if I was the main character, I'd be like, give me the noose already. Fuck this.
So you threw 100 Girlfriends That Really, Really Love You in there. You threw...
Mushoku Tensei, and then
Rent a Girlfriend?
yeah, Rent a Girlfriend.
Rent a Girlfriend. That was the one.
Honestly, what we did was we looked at Reddit's favorite things, called it cringe, and went with it.
Yeah.
Well, mainly because they are.
Which
let's
is
be honest
fine.
here.
It's just that Reddit will shit on Demon Slayer and then sing the praises of those shows.
Which...
They will say Naruto is a copy of... I saw this, was it? Yeah, they say Naruto is a copy of Black Clover.
What?
Yeah, it's Reddit. And then, but say, that...
I haven't seen either of those shows, and I know that claim is patently false.
That, fucking, what was it? Was it the 100 Girlfriends, or was it the, Rent a Girlfriend where they said it was a deconstruction of a harem?
The 100 Girlfriends?
It's a deconstruction of a harem anime.
A car crash is a deconstruction of a vehicle.
Yes.
But no one wants to see that shit.
Yeah. It doesn't mean you did anything. All you did was wreck a perfectly good concept. Well, not like harem anime are really my favorite thing.
Hey, they're good drunk watches.
They are good drunk watches.
Especially school days.
Yes, absolutely. And stuff like Konosuba are actually good because the writers are actually funny and the voice actors actually love performing these characters. So it actually works because everyone is trying. I can't believe I need to say that, but here we are. So yeah, Angst and Regret went off great.
I really liked my bit where I can't remember the context, but I started going to a little bit of a stand-up comedian bit where I started comparing a show to Twilight.
Oh yeah,
I can't remember which show it was.
Howl's Moving Castle. That's
Yeah, Howl's
I say has Twilight syndrome.
Yeah, Howl's Moving Castle. I said it's like like the book or like the movie. But, okay, great. You can tell me that, but Team Jacob, Team Edward, which one are you?
Yeah, and yeah, I've already expressed my thoughts on I think the list is solid. I was happy to see, and it makes sense that we would add these other shows because as we continue on doing conventions and stuff, the audiences that would be their cringe shows are going to be different from what our cringe shows were. You know what I mean? Because
someone's gonna ask us about Negima in the future. It's gonna be hilarious to me, but
yeah. Well, Negima was fun. Let's be real.
Some of those lines are out of pocket. I'm not gonna lie.
They were out of pocket, but Negima overall I had a good time with. Plus, that's when I got confirmed for grad school, so Negima is forever just coded into my DNA. Thank you for the anime club algorithm never fails to.
Hey guys, if we have any clippers in the audience, feel free to clip that out. Thank you.
Wait, what? Oh. So yeah, Angst and Regret went well. We had a bit of a gap to where we could kind of party and just hang out before Waifu Wars. Waifu Wars went good.
Oh my god, that room size though! Holy
yeah.
hell!
We got a whole ballroom for Waifu Wars.
Yeah, and there was one guest who I was really, really rooting for, and then the audience turned against him. It was a guy in one of those Love Live Cape things.
Called him Hoppies, Happi.
Yeah, and he
had a Nijigasaki one.
Yeah, and he was going to town, holding court for Nico.
Yeah,
really wanted.
I had hope for once.
Yeah, and it would be like if in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, where I believe it was Gregory Peck makes his big filibuster speech, and then everyone said, "My God, bro, get him out of here! What is bro doing?"
Yeah, I just pulled up. I just pulled up Nebraska's Waifu Wars.
Dude gave the best speech ever, and then the crowd put Nico into shit on fire too.
F tier.
I put my baby girl into F tier, and then that dude left the room after.
Yeah.
Never saw him again.
Yeah, he. If you're listening, we respect your efforts. Here's a Nico for you.
I'm gonna say this list is actually kind of funny now that I'm looking at it, because there was this one girl who had face paint on, and she was yelling at us, saying they're underage for almost every other pick we had on this list. Which, I'll say this once.
Why come to our panel then?
It's an 18+ panel. You should know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
There is But aside from that, I think some of these picks were kind of funny as compared to the inked list, which we'll get to.
the inked list was fascinating, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah, this one was more hype because we had an actual tech dude sitting in the back that controlled the overall master volumes and shit,
Yeah,
which
I
was
think it was one of you guys asked about moving mics and stuff, and he said, "If you touch anything in here, I will kill you."
No. He said, he helped us with the mics, which was great. He said if we moved the projector, he was gonna kill us all. And so what I did was I etched out a spot near the projector so that way people could slide next to it, and then people just took the spot anyway. So I'm like, oh well, that helped out zero. Because he actually almost had a heart attack because someone kicked the line to the projector from the to the HDMI cable.
Yeah, it's almost like a room full of like 100 drunk weebs stumbling around and yelling at each other isn't going to cause some problems. I mean, it's like, common sense.
But let's go over this list because I have it pulled up. So I have S plus tier. I have S Death, Yor, Bulma, Rengoku from Bleach, Olivier Armstrong, Speedwagon, of course, Hawkeye, Yoriichi, and Bakugo's mom.
Yeah. I feel like we should just start these lists with Speedwagon and S plus tier, because that's where he always goes.
Oh, he also gets picked early almost every single time, which is hilarious to me.
Like searching the list, like, holy shit, they have Speedwagon.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite part from regular anime Magic, because I think that was when the guy came up to us and just turned around and went, "They have Speedwagon." It was so funny.
Gave a whole speech about why Speedwagon is the best person to ever exist.
But anyway, moving on. S tier we have Whis from Konosuba, Urza from Fairy Tail.
Oh, Wiz.
Whis.
I thought you talked about the girl from Ruby for a minute there.
Nope. Whis from Konosuba, Urza from Fairy Tail.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Stalking?
That's Panny.
Panny. I haven't watched that show.
I have. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So it's Stalking.
Stalking's the goth one.
So
Yeah, Panny's the blonde one.
Panny's the blonde. Got that. We got Panny from Panny and Stalking, and then Nico Robin from Fairy Tail. Not Fairy Tail. Holy shit! I'm gonna get killed. One Piece. I'm gonna get killed by the Yaoi community. I'm sorry, guys.
I haven't
I'm a little
even
tipsy.
watched One Piece, and I know that.
It's because you're the one who controls this. I had Urza and Nico in the same line of vision, so my wires got crossed there. Sorry, everyone. And then A tier we have Kobeni, 2B, and Lucy from Cyberpunk.
The person who made a case for Kobeni and A tier actually did a pretty good job. So I thought, I remember it being a girl. She did a good job.
She did a very good job.
Did a very good job of.
I do
arguing for
appreciate
Kobeni.
those who see waifu not in I want to fuck this character context.
It's more about is this a cool character? Is
Yeah,
how more I see
would
it.
they actually be good as a partner?
Yeah. That's the entirety of Waifu Wars, which is why the underage comments kind of tick me off a little bit. It's like, would they be a good partner? If you say they're underage, so no, that's why we have a jail tier.
Yeah, which is funny because mostly the adult women go into
I
jail.
know, it's funny.
It's like, go figure.
Wait, let me go down the list then. B tier we have I get them mixed up.
Is it somebody's mom?
No, we have Terrible Tornado. I forgot the actual name. Tatsumaki, thank you. From One Punch Man, and then Urahara from Bleach. I will get those names mixed up.
One of the characters you added. I don't know.
Well, yes, because Bleach is very popular, and I'm right. And the funny part is, during the end of that one, someone was like, "Isn't that green hair girl underage?" I'm like, "She's 28 and small." She had. I was about to go. I'm like, do you think if a girl has no tits, do you think they're underage?
I think all short girls are underage.
Some people.
I bet you're a joy at Sabrina Carpenter concerts.
God, online discourse is shit, and I'm thankful everyone's moving to Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Anywho, C.
So you that follow me on Blue Sky, Mothman's Milkman.
Hell yeah. Gang. Here.
C tier we have what's her face from
Yoko
from Gurren Lagann. We have Police Girl from Hellsing.
Saris.
Yeah, I mean, that was intentional.
Yeah, like most of my favorite characters started popping up in C tier and below. But
And
go
then we
on.
have Rem from ReZero.
The characters I only know through porn.
I will re-educate you.
Okay, you know what? Olivier Armstrong in S tier I liked.
She's an S+ tier.
Okay, well that's where she belongs because I love Olivier Armstrong.
And then D tier we have I from Oshinoko.
But speak of that, apparently the manga for that just ended.
Oh, nice.
People started burning their copies of the manga too, so that's funny. The ending was that bad, I
Yeah.
guess. And then we have Astolfo from the
Yeah.
Fate series.
Which heretic put Astolfo in... is it D for dick?
I think it was D for Dick.
I think it was D for Dick.
And then Aqua from Konosuba.
Okay.
Valid.
And then F tier is our resident Nico pick.
Aww.
And then we go to shit on.
Here she is.
Will my baby ever win?
I think the highest tier she got was like a C tier. And then shit on fire we have Ram from ReZero.
The pink hair one.
pink hair
the
one.
less successful sister.
The other one who isn't a vegetable right now.
Ooh.
Then we have Megumin,
Why would you
Misa.
slander my baby girl Megumin like this?
I can't believe you
She's more useful than Aqua.
That's true.
Misa, and then Sakura, which is my.
I think
Send her home.
Thunder. Say that every time. She goes there every time. It's hilarious.
Yeah. I did the whole thing from Happy Gilmore. She's got her bags packed. She's got her boarding pass. Take her to the airport. Send her home.
And then our jail tier, which update, I finally got saved on the tier maker website. For fuck's sake, that took me an hour. We got Makima 02, Raven from DC Universe.
Yeah, I don't ask me to explain that one.
That one I think purely because I just chose a Teen Titans picture, which actually did send me over the edge on that night. Melty or Bitch from Shield Hero, Power, and then Kaguya from Kaguya-sama Love is War.
So that's where we stood with Waifu War. It was
Even though I don't think Kaguya has ever actually committed any crimes. She's just a rich girl.
Yeah.
A rich girl that doesn't want to actually show affection.
Yeah. So Waifu Wars was, of course, interesting as ever. And then basically we went back and we just crashed. We were done. We had a big day. We had a bigger day tomorrow because we had to drive home. But Sunday, what?
Who's a we? That was all you. I offered, but you said no.
Right. Well, I mean, we all had to go back home. So, but
But then
Sunday
we did have one thing on Sunday.
we did have one thing on Sunday, and it was personally one of my favorite panels because I got to host it with my lady.
Woo!
Me and Heather hosted the Gen 1 Transformers panel. It's also one of my favorite panels because not only do I get to host it with my lady, I also get to expose everyone to just the bonkers insanity that is Love Live is Transformers, Gen 1 Transformers.
I mean, would be fun if Love Live did a Transformers
I know, I
collab.
was thinking of the same thing. Nico would be Starscream.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nico would be Starscream.
It's like, would it be Honoka or Chica being Optimus?
Who would be Megatron?
Nico. Oh, wait, no. Optimus would be, maybe Ellie? But anyway, so yeah, we got to do a Gen 1 Transformers panel, which is like, basically we talk about all the stuff that
Also,
came out
shout out
later.
to Bread Fia from the MILF server for coming out for that one.
Yeah, it was great to see you. Thank you for your support. I'm glad we found your Maki whip in the parking lot.
The Maki.
Steven found it. He was just looking ahead because we were going to the convention center.
And out of the corner of my eye, I see a red Mach-E Mustang. I'm like, wait a goddamn minute.
Yeah, and he stopped us all in the parking lot.
Because I saw Maki's purple eye from all the way fucking across the way, parking lots. I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
And it's like, who else could that be? Speaking of which, Hannah finally got her dream Mezzo at NebraskaCon.
Our first walk through the vendors hall found Snow Halation Maki.
And we both have wanted Snow Elation Maki
Yeah, I
because
think we did rock paper scissors.
yeah, and even if I was just gonna concede anyway. I still just
and
wanted
I'll
to.
probably take her over to your house anyway, and,
Be-
and you'll get to see her all the time.
And the reason is her hat. She has this. If for anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure most of you know, but Snow Elation Maki in her Snow Elation outfit, she has this big white, kind of old timey 1930s, 1940s hat,
Yeah.
and it looks so cute.
Yeah. Nice level of Snow Halation hats.
Yeah.
I'm thankful we're planning to move out of this place in a year because we have no more space for Nuzzles at all.
Yeah. So I know when I talk to the server about my cardboard box full of plushies, they tell me to get one of those bookshelves that have the glass case things.
Oh, right.
Where I don't have the space for one of those.
Right, you couldn't feasibly do it. But anyway.
I mean, if we move these cosplay shelves into the closet like I want to eventually.
I think I probably want to wait till we move anyway.
Yeah.
So, for the Transformers panel, it was just me and Heather. We were doing, talking about all the different Transformers, all the different weird stuff in them. And Hannah actually had a good question about one of the Transformers who transforms into a cop car. It was like,
does A-Cab include him?
Yeah, and it's like, no, it doesn't include him, but it very much includes Barricade. Because Barricade goes as a Decepticon, are those duds?
Yeah.
They're not duds where we need Sprite to mix those with.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, the Gen 1 Transformers panel was great. Always fun to do that panel. We finally got the videos embedded into the actual panel itself. And then we basically wrapped up, left the hotel. We went to this Burger King that was right down the way, gassed up, grabbed some food, and we were on our way. And
I think the only thing looking back at Nebraska on the bad thing is that I actually did get kind of a head cold. 3 or 4 days before that. I'm like, I am so sorry to Wade and Heather if they hear my snoring because your boy.
I mean,
without the cough, good because I guess.
Well, we had that dividing door, so we wouldn't have heard it anyway. But
I guess you would have.
No, the door.
No, when I get sick, my snoring sounds like a dead dying pig. It's all right.
but don't beat yourself up too bad because we.
Oh no, I felt better the day after we got back. So I guarantee I gave it to somebody.
Yeah, you probably gave it to me and Heather because we ended up getting sick over the next couple of weeks.
I tried my best not to be around you guys when I had
that
fucking thing too.
But we don't know if it was you or if it was someone at the convention. Anyway, the drive back was fine. We made good time. Daylight savings hadn't hit yet, so we didn't have to worry about that. I mean, we pulled back into town. I still had about 60, 70 gallons worth of gas in my car, so that was good. I actually made that gas last until the end of the week, so I was pretty jazzed about that. But in any case, so we had a couple weeks. What,
about 2 weeks?
Yeah, about 2 weeks break, and then we went to our next convention, which was actually really surprising, but it's also become one of my favorite conventions that I've attended this year. Inked. Anime Magic is rolled out a new convention called Anime Magic Inked, which takes place at the same place that they do the regular Anime Magic, which is the Hyatt Regency.
Except they have a bit more of an emphasis on tattoos.
Yeah, they rented out the
where usually where the grand ballroom is for the raves and stuff.
Yeah, they rented that out and turned it into
the tattoo hall.
Into the tattoo hall.
My pal Sarah, that I've known since high school, she joined us since she lives up in Chicago now. She just came up there, just met up with us there, and she actually took me just to go walk around the tattoo hall.
Yeah, and
it was actually pretty cool in there.
Yeah, I took a peek in there. It actually looked pretty sweet. But despite the fact that this was like a tattoo-focused anime convention, which already sounds strange, we had a full boat of panels that weekend, which I was really...
I mean, we're pretty much one of the only groups that were hosting tons of panels.
Yeah, and
shout out to John for making sure, because we were the first panel on the first day.
Yeah, my Love Live panel was the first panel in Anime Magic Inked history.
Yeah, and John, I have to give a shout out to the staff well, first of all, the staff at NebraskaCon were for the most part really, really good. So thank
They
you.
gave us money.
They gave us they essentially let us get in for free. So thank you guys. But at Anime Magic Inked, I mean, I'm on good terms with the people who run it. So it's always great to reconnect with them because they are always just so kind, so friendly, so funny, so dynamic. And the staff that they hired was really, really good. Like, they were always making sure that we were well taken care of, which was fantastic. You know, it's what you want from a convention staff. And so yeah, we basically hit the ground running because right after we pulled in that Friday, we did your Love Live panel. And we got to run into some familiar faces that day.
Yep. Shout out to Prophet and Hitate for showing up on this weekend.
Yeah, it was great to see those folks again. Prophet basically spent the whole weekend with us, pretty much, bringing around T-Pose Hanyo, which I took so many pictures over the weekend.
And most of them were probably of Hanayo.
Well, a lot of them just have Hanyo, T-Pose Hanyo in the background because he was just bringing this thing everywhere. But yeah, Hannah had her Love Live panel and actually had a bigger crowd at this little tattoo con than she did at Nebraska.
They went from like, what, 3 people to 5?
Well, there were 5 people at that one. There were about 7 people at the Anime Magic Inc.
Everybody that shows up to my Love Live panel always seems really happy to be there, which I couldn't love more.
Yeah, I mean, it is
Couldn't
great.
love life more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've converted all of us to being like Love Live stands. I mean, I don't mean your audience. Your audience was already converted.
Yeah,
going it.
I mean, like getting you guys into it.
Did you expect it not? Sorry to go on a tangent. Did you not expect it to take with me or Steven?
No, I mostly just showed it to you guys just because it's kind of my thing, and I reference it a lot. That might as well just at least introduce it to you guys, just so you'll understand my memes stuff
and life was changed forever for the
yeah.
both of us.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to actually cry over it, considering your tastes are more like the military dark type shows.
Sure, I mean that's fair, but it was so sad at the train station.
I mean, you showed me Bunny Girl Senpai and you didn't expect him to cry, did you?
Nope.
I mean,
but then we hit the end of that third movie and your boy's just tearing up. I'm like, nope.
We're gonna save our tears for Love Live for later in the show because we got something big to talk about.
Yeah, we have to talk about all the shows we've seen since the last time we recorded.
But
continuing with Magic.
Friday, or Anime Magic Inc. Friday was pretty chill. I mean, after the Love Live panel, we didn't have a whole lot to do.
I don't actually have our schedule saved for that, so...
Oh, wait,
I ended up deleting Guidebook after the con.
Wait, no, I'm full of shit. That Friday was actually one of our busier Fridays because we had 3 panels that day. And then...
Oh, yeah, most of our panels were on Friday, and we were only really busy Saturday evening.
Yeah, Saturday evening. I mean, we were very busy Saturday evening, but still. So we did the Love Live panel first, which went great as usual. I've incorporated a new joke, kind of like our the Stars at Night. Whenever we talk about Texas Mari, my new joke is that Storm and Lover, which is the Ellie Umi duet. I always say this is the gayest version of Copacabana since, well, the original Copacabana. And it's gotten laughs both times, so I'm like, yes, I'm glad you get my boomer deep cut. But
oh man.
But so what was we had after Love Live? We had anime hot takes, but that was later in the night. I know
I think we had Angst and Regret that day, or was that Saturday?
Oh wait,
no, we did have Angst and Regret later that night.
Yeah, we did have Angst and Regret that night.
Yeah, it was Angst and Regret, and then we had anime hot takes.
Which I loved seeing the reaction. I always love seeing the reactions to people in Angst and Regret, but this one was particularly interesting because most of the room was on the same page.
Yeah. Also,
it was really fun.
Shout out to that one dude, the not Prophet, that was just as Aqua from Oshinoko. I feel like that dude was just always at our panels.
yeah.
That was just always just bantering with us.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
Also, my favorite thing in Angst and Regret, again, shout out to Hitate. Hitate comes in, we just have the fucking Caravan dancing from like, what, 20...
Yeah, we have the Nightcore Caramel Dances
Yeah,
playing on
from
there.
like 2006.
That's our Angst and Regret setup.
Yeah,
So,
I have a playlist of 5. My sound test is
Just
every
some
time we touch
popular
by...
AMV music.
Yeah.
My sound check is always every time we touch by Electric Callboy because I think it's funny and it fits.
And then Riot by 3 Days
Yeah,
Grace,
that's right.
Animal I Have Become.
Oh, Animal I've Become. I'm sorry.
We have the Electric Callboy version of Every Time We Touch,
Yeah,
the
I'm looking it
Nightcore
up right
version
now.
of Every Time We Touch, Animal I Have Become, and Monster by Skillet.
Right, Monster by
Yeah. Yeah, so let me triple check that real quick. Just you're more than likely right, but I'm just looking it up just for my safety. Just for I know.
But yeah.
I think it's the Nightcore version of Every Time We Touch is playing, and we just see Hitate walk in, just look what's happening. You see her start to turn around. Then Steven was like, "No, Hitate, you come back here."
I was like, hey, no, you, too late, late.
Hannah was 1,000% right.
Yes, I look at this playlist more than you do.
Ouch.
So,
I mean, you're right.
so the thing is, most everyone was. It's not like it wasn't like at NebraskaCon where some people knew something. No, basically everyone knew what we were talking
Probably
about.
a good thing this was more of a tattoo convention, because that meant the ages of the people there were a lot older.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
we had people more in our age range who
Yeah.
actually knew what we were talking about.
yeah, it's a lot of seasoned vets of conventions came to Anime Magic Inc. So they
I love how the very end of that, right? I think we ran out the clock because I think we went on a bit long for that one. But then I dropped the words "art of vampire" bit right before we just left to the room.
Nice.
Excuse me.
So we had we went to dinner, we hung out, we partied with Sarah. It was great. Then we had anime hot takes. There was a bit of a mix up with anime hot takes, which
there's a panel about AI and anime, which they booked both of our panels in panel room 1.
So I overheard Manjo talking about that. The guidebook is an automatic update, so I think guidebook itself double booked the room.
Yeah.
And then extended the karaoke. So we couldn't simply just move to panel room 2 because karaoke was already set up. So we got shoved to the special events area,
which is where Rebel and Cleric, when the band's there, was going to do their sound check. So
which was
their
a system,
sound checking
which was a system of a down covered band, which I approve of.
Yeah, I if I wasn't so like dog ass tired, I actually probably would have stayed for their show.
Yeah,
but
so their concert started at 11, and we were already tired after.
Tired. We were giving Prophet the Midwest goodbye the entire time.
Yeah, well, Wade had already gone up to bed after the panel, but you and Prophet were talking, and I was just sitting there in the hallway, piping in.
Aside, right? Every time Prophet and I would go on these long ass conversations, he would always ask me a question about panels, and then we drift into everything else.
Well, I don't blame him for asking that, but anyway, I want to say something really fast. I don't blame anyone for what happened at with that double book. It was an honest mistake.
The managing person we had helping us out was a blast.
Yeah, everyone handled it great. I was a bit confused, but I settled into it because
how the lady helping us, like, somebody's gonna get yelled at for this.
Yeah, and I hope no one did. I really hope no one did. I mean, it was an honest mistake. We powered through it. We had great people around us. The panel went well.
Also, shout out to the guys from Rebel and Cleric for being really chill about us being in there.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the guy from Rebel and Cleric who recognized us for doing Chris Chin back in the day.
Yeah, which is like, man, that was something.
I think he pointed to you, Wade, and then pointed to me saying, "I've seen you guys around before."
Yeah, and that was a running theme throughout the weekend. Like, oh fuck, I'll never be able to escape this. But anyway, anime hot takes was fine. Like
Oh god, that
yeah,
setup of the room, holy shit.
Yeah, so we were originally planning to set up like waifu wars, where it'd be us at the tables having the mic out, and people just form a line, walk up, give their takes, and
We debate about it for like maybe 5 minutes and then go on their merry way.
we had to resort to the peace pipe method.
yeah, so
Good.
just
Thank
put a bunch
God.
of chairs in a circle.
I will say I am thankful for being in Boy Scouts because we've had a setup like that like 1,000 times on
Oh,
like high
sure.
adventure camps, and I've been emceeing those for a while. I also have to thank Order of the Era for making me prep for that. That was great, fantastic. And so I was able to like handle the room pretty well, except for that one bitch who dressed up as Zelda, and that was.
yeah,
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure she was like high on PCP or
Yeah.
something.
I'm gonna
she
say-
was
I'm gonna
either
s-
blackout wasted or Steven saying maybe on LSD. 'cause,
LSD, ecstasy, or both.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think she went up to give her a hot take or something about Zelda's titties or something, and then started like almost twerking on Steven, which I was just kind of standing there in the corners like, I should I step in? But I'm also curious to see where this goes.
She smelled like a 10-day-old sardine can, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
Ugh.
She eventually fucked off out of the room, which I was.
After I gave her a stern look that just basically said, "I don't really give a shit."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like that was Friday night, right?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Friday.
so I think of one, like you were talking about something and said, "But you're a man." Or like, your opinion doesn't matter. Like,
Her, but here's the
where are you trying to fit this in here?
Yeah.
We're not even talking about.
No,
this.
okay. The funny thing is, that's not the first time I've heard that before, so I was able to actually react kind of okay.
yeah, you're
Just think, if we were talking about anything political, maybe you would have a case there, but we are literally talking about anime here.
I gave her a look and just did this. Like I waved my hand at her and rolled my eyes, and just basically gave her the "get the fuck out of my room" type
yeah,
of wave.
and she eventually fucked out, and in a way, like I don't mean to be apologetics here, but like I do think that she was out of her mind,
Yeah.
literally. Like,
Oh no! I could definitely tell the drugs.
Yeah, with some whatever it may have been.
Yeah, I'll have whatever some of she's having.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, girl, where's your plug?" Anyway, anime hot takes for the most part went okay. You know, we managed, we bounced back as we do.
Yeah, and
Oh.
then I
Also-
guess I will go into the afterwards of that because afterwards we were doing that. I was getting some water to calm down and like try to not be drunk when I go back to the room.
Sure.
And Prophet's like, "Hey, so how is that?" And Prophet came up as like trying to gave his little insight on it since he was there. And I was like, "Yeah, usually I would set it up like we do with our waifu wars and like have people come up and do it, but I kind of had to think on my feet there, so it wasn't too bad." And then we like drifted on other topics, and then we talked about Midwest Cuddle Puddle, so that was nice.
Yeah, Coffee was asking us if it's worth going to Anime Midwest just because he wants to see a train wreck happen.
Oh, well,
Uh,
good place to see one.
all I said to him, all he said was, "Do enough panels to get in there for free, or else just don't go."
Yeah. So yeah, Friday was
Also, I have to give one more shout out to the Rebel and Cleric guys because
yeah.
that
Go
time
for
when
it.
Sarah took me to go to the tattoo
hmm
alley. That the singer of Rebel and Cleric was one of the tattoo artists there. So like he was just doing a tattoo and then just turns over. It's like, hey, it's you.
Nice.
Like if you ever need a tattoo, I'm here.
There you go. Also, before we move on to Saturday, I want to say that throughout the weekend we were being helped by a very nice young lady, who I couldn't remember her name. I remembered like the structure of her name, and I asked John who this person was. I identified her.
Oh, is she that girl that was always in the back of the room
Yeah,
during her
I
panels?
identified her as Jane. Her real name is she's known as Jin.
Ah,
So Jin, thank you for all the help you gave us this weekend. Frankly, I mean, we didn't really need a lot of help, but the fact that you were there to like back us up and were in our corner, we really appreciated. So, so thank you. So anyway, moving on to Saturday. Saturday, we weren't really busy.
yeah, I think the only things we had in the morning was actually at noon. Prophet did his very first panel ever.
Yeah, and he did great. I want to
He
say
did.
that Prophet ran a really good panel. I wish they had given him the 2 hours, but I think he did well enough with the. He did really well
Yeah.
with the 1 hour that they gave him.
Yeah,
But
he
I
did-
mean, you know, scheduling and all that stuff.
did the complete Love Live iceberg. It's like
which is
all
different from yours because his was more about
more
like
in-depth lore.
yeah, like fandom type stuff.
Yeah,
while
it's like things that have actually happened in real life that relate to Love Live.
And my favorite one was at the very depths of the iceberg. There was apparently in Ukraine, this French news channel was like filming a bunker in Ukraine that was like surviving during the Russian invasion, and there was an Aqua flag in the bunker.
The whole Aqua logo tapestry.
Yeah, and I was like, "Come and get it, Putin! It ain't coming down."
Hey, you know what? It used to be that we take photographs of women. Now we just have anime girls.
Yeah. But
I'm trying to think of what was my favorite one from that.
I mean, I just like the overall, just watching a panelist do something because of the three of us. Honestly, it was just
yeah,
a gift in and of itself.
yeah, definitely.
I think I liked when Aqua performed during an earthquake. It was one of the times they performed at Anime Expo in LA.
Right.
They're like in the middle of performing Brightest Melody, which is their big song from the movie.
Right,
then,
right.
It's like an earthquake actually hit, and it's like you can see like the equipment on stage shaking, but it's like they were just up there, just like nothing was happening.
Well, to be fair, they are from Japan, and Japan gets as many earthquakes as, California does. So they handled it really well, and Steven, did you have a favorite moment? Yeah. I'm gonna look up.
Oh, I think another favorite one was the I Furihata one, where after they
Thank you, gays.
After they did an LA show, where it's like she posts an Instagram story where she meant to write "Thank you, guys," but she wrote "Thank you, gays."
I think that was my favorite one, just because of how funny it was.
That is something Ruby would do.
Oh, here's something I loved. Muse and Justin Bieber appeared at the same event, and I was talking about with these guys later. It's like, yeah, it's funny it was Justin Bieber, but imagine if it was an artist I liked. Like, imagine if it was Muse and Phil Collins. Like, you just
which I think he also said on there that apparently some interview asked Shikako like who she'd want to collab with, and she said Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, you can do better.
Yeah.
I mean, right now he looks like a roofer who dips on payday, alright?
I've seen that meme. Did you see?
Oh yeah, there's also the one where a picture of Ed Sheeran kept popping up during a Nijigasaki Seiyu live stream.
And one of them was getting turned on, like, ooh,
yeah.
I like that.
It was
Agupan Ayumu Seiyu just kept saying Ikemen, which means hot guy.
Oh, and I took this.
Oh, baby girl, you can do a lot better than that.
I was like, damn.
You literally have Yu Takasaki right there.
Also, don't fall in love with a British guy. Come on.
Oh, and I took this picture. He took his signature T pose, and applied it to a bunch of the different Love Live girls.
I'm guessing that might be all his favorites from each group.
Yeah. So Prophet, you have good tastes, my friend. His favorite from Muse is Hanyo. Yoshiko from Aqua.
Kanata, which my Nijigasaki Yoshi.
Yeah, Kanata, Cuckoo. Yeah. I like Cuckoo fine enough. And
then Suzuri from Hasuno Sora, which I've heard she's autism incarnate.
How about that?
Yeah.
She is part of Gremlin.exe group, so.
So, yeah, Prophet did an amazing job with his panel. I thought it was great.
Yeah, his 1 hour cut of the panel was great. Though, just imagine what he could do with 2 hours.
And I'm sure he could get it at another convention, but, we shall see later on. But,
Prophet, keep doing what you're doing.
Keep on keeping on, man. So then...
And then, I think right after that, I went to Persona Meetup. They had
and that's where we had our whole Midwest garage beers.
Yeah, you, Steven, Hitate, and Prophet were just having a conversation.
We taught them Christery.
Yeah, taught them Christery. We talked about a lot of stuff. It was honestly a great, kind of...
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I was on the other side of that big statue. I went to a Persona meetup, which just ended up being a Persona 3 meetup. Well, I was dressed as Futaba from Persona 5.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Which is funny because the guy that Sarah likes from Persona
It's
3.
a guy named Shinjiro, I think is his real name from Persona 3. That's like Sarah's husbando.
Yeah, I mean, there was a guy dressed exactly like him over in that, over on that statue. But you seemed like you had a good time with that meetup, and I'm glad that you did.
It's like they really were trying to get me involved with all of it, but then I think it's like, I don't really know, and I haven't played Persona 3 yet, so I don't know like what I could do with those characters.
Had they
that would really
played
make
Persona
sense.
5?
Yeah, and one girl there kept like when she was asking me about it, I said, yeah, did my second playthrough of it. Yeah, Steven's doing his second New Game Plus now, and like, yeah, I think Maruki might be one of my favorite villains ever. Said, is Maruki really a villain though?
I'm about to do my third because your boy keeps failing with trying to get Futaba to actually be a romantic partner.
Oh yeah.
Because it's literally Hannah, and therefore that's how I'm doing it.
Oh yeah, I don't know if that got picked up on the mic, but yeah, Steven finished his second New Game Plus, but still never got Futaba's romance route.
I got almost there. I got to level 9.
Yeah, Futaba's the only character he's never ranked 10'd.
And Sumire.
Oh, and Sumire too.
My guy, Kawakami, is right there.
Yeah, he level 10'd Kawakami on his first playthrough.
My man!
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. The first playthrough, I think I level 10 the entire team, most of the team. I got Haru level 10. I got Makoto level 10 on Kawakami, Takemi.
Which I think you keep friend zoning Takemi and not actually doing the romance route.
Well, we did the romance route, and then my dumbass like. Sometimes, like,
yeah,
you know when like the scroll is going through and you accidentally double click to an answer?
Yeah.
I think she does the thing like, it's like, you're not really asking me out, are you? And there's like a just kidding thing on there, but I think you accidentally do the joke response instead of the actual I love you response.
Bro, why do you keep friend zoning the mad scientist?
Because my name's Ren Amamiya and I do the joke answers. What the fuck do you want from me?
I do the joke answer. That's fair.
Beep boop.
Beep boop.
Okay, I don't care what you say. That beep boop section, right, is the only correct answer.
No,
it doesn't gain you anything. In fact, Makoto chides you for teasing her, but it's the funniest one.
It's
her response to that is just, stop teasing me.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. But anyway, so Hannah's meetup went good. We had good conversations with Hatate and Prophet, and then from that point,
we did a little bit of editing to our golf.
Revamped the golf panel.
Yeah. Speaking of that, at 5 o'clock on Saturday, we got to debut a new panel.
Yep, the golf panel, and I had a great time with it. I think we were more into it than the audience was,
I mean,
but
there were a few dudes in there, like some older gentlemen in there, which I
could
tell they knew about golf.
I was probably sitting right behind the television, but I could tell the guys in like the back right corner from where we were at backstage,
I
right?
Just saw one dude kind of like in like the middle rows here, just nodding along with.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we got the response that we did, and obviously, Anime Magic Inked is an odd place to try out a golf anime panel, but I'm happy with
I could say since the older demographic of that con, maybe more people that would play golf.
Yeah, could be. I mean, I had a good time, just sharing my love of the sport with this crowd.
I love how we just shared those 2 shorts we actually have on this channel just to the group for free.
Yeah, we showed them what
those are like the only ones we have on the computer that were ready to go.
Yeah, it shows you what a day at the golf course with us is like, and it's just as chaotic as it is in the convention hall. Sarairo Utility, yeah.
Yeah, Steven, how are you feeling? I feel like shit.
Yeah. Wade forgot his fucking sand wedge again.
Speaking of which, the last time one of the few times we did go golfing this year, we really didn't film that much because I have a backlog of all of our other shit.
Yeah,
well, we
barely uploaded our 2023.
We we haven't gone golfing a lot in October because we haven't had time to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we've been
Yeah, we just
nose to
didn't-
grind.
we just
and
didn't bring.
me and Steven don't really have money anymore.
But
God, the car and that card payment's fucking kicking my ass.
I mean, hell, golf season's almost over, and you'll have plenty of time to recharge.
Oh yeah, right near the holidays when they buy Christmas presents for everyone.
Well, I mean, it's not
we'll
like
recover by golf season next year.
well. In any case, but did great with the golf panel. I thought my kind of boomer joke about why is Birdie Wing such a good Yuri show? It's like I wanted to watch the Golf Channel.
Yeah, I think my joke is so many people there's so many girls watch Haikyuu and stuff, just expecting a yaoi show and getting a sports show. Meanwhile, we were expecting a sports show and we got a Yuri.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
I mean, Hannah and I were enjoying that part. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Like
didn't
Yuri.
hate it, but it's like, I'm just being facetious.
One
It
of the
was
most wholesome and supportive anime relationships ever is in a golf show.
right.
A
Yeah,
golf mafia
a
anime.
golf mafia, like odd place to find it, right? But anyway, golf panel went good. We went up, had dinner. That was fun.
Prophet, Hatate, Sarah joined us.
Yeah, it was a big dinner.
Oh, and Sarah's roommate, Chris.
Yeah,
I
I would.
Oh, that was fun trying to split that fucking check though.
Yeah. We got that sorted out. We went up. We partied. I honestly always love the room parties in between like panel bursts because it's like,
Yeah. Sarah introduced us to Dracula Flow, which I keep
oh my
listening to that all
god,
the
that
time.
opened my third eye because I was just like, who
I
gives
got-
a
got-
shit?
Got my DNA test back. Turns out I'm 100% Himalayan.
No, my favorite is who gives a fuck if I'm blind? I don't need to see the price tag anyway.
You know,
Okay.
the funny thing is, I was introduced to Dracula Flow through one of my Discord channels,
Nice.
and I would open up and play some stuff on there. But if I open up a group chat, someone else is gonna pop in 5 seconds, so I can't do that shit.
So, I guess what Dracula Flow is, you have this older gentleman in like a cheap Dracula costume.
Like Spirit Halloween Dracula
Yeah,
costume.
but he's spitting like the hardest bars you have ever. I'm not even bullshitting. These are like, oh damn, that's some straight fire.
Apparently, Joji is behind that channel.
Oh, of course he is.
Based.
Nice. But yeah, it's like just the funniest, honestly, kind of put a pep in your step, kind of bars, like that whole price tag bar. What are some other? Himalayan.
I know we were talking about it earlier, so I'm just going back into the group chat to try and find what bars we were sharing.
But okay, well she does that. Then it got time for us to rejoin the world of the con ecosystem. We went back down.
I'm looking up the Discord ones just out of curiosity. Sorry, give me a second.
Okay, but we went down.
But but we went down.
V is for Villains.
Beast of Rose was a great show.
Great show as usual. John and Nick never miss.
I just wish I didn't have a little bit of a headache then, because I would have joined Wait Up and just did a bunch a hair. Because my hair is pretty long. It's gonna hit my shoulders pretty soon.
Yeah, in fact, I was kind of looking away from the stage a bit just because they had the light show really going.
Yeah, I mean they're always great as usual, and unfortunately we couldn't stay for the whole time because we had 2 panels to host back to back that night, and that was probably my favorite 2-hour period of this panel because we had the Cursed Media panel yet again, and I felt it went even better than the first Cursed Media panel because we kind of ironed out all the kinks.
We told the foot fetish to go away.
Oh, here I found some more of the Dracula Flow quotes that me and Sarah are sharing. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. She sucked me like a cordless Dyson V8. The Zaza got me speaking Esperanto. They must have amnesia. They forgot that I'm him.
I mean, Shit,
Me smoking that IBM quantum computer.
shit like that. Like, who comes up?
Yeah,
with...
give me a second. I think I want to see if he kept it because sometimes he gets rid of it and I need to actually fucking look at it.
Like, who comes up with this shit, man? You know what I mean? Like, just bars that make you laugh and are like, oh man, that if you actually put like beats and moves behind that.
Zaza got me speaking
That's Esperanto. It's like, who comes up with this shit?
Oh, he got rid of it. Oh, that makes me sad.
But, so Cursed Media.
Wait. I'm gonna play this one real quick.
How many times do we have
Nope.
to... How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I did. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry about that, guys. No, I got tricked because old man used to be one of the phrases from Dracula Flow, and I got tricked.
Okay.
My bad. Sorry.
So,
Cursed Media.
This was the Cursed Media where we actually got through all of our prepared content.
Yeah. And, any favorite reactions? Because, I can think of a few.
Got to the Farrah Abraham one. The My Teenage Dream ended.
Yeah. Well, we got to it at NebraskaCon too, but the
Oh,
reaction at
son of a
Inked was
bitch.
funny. What's wrong?
No, I just forgot to leave the fucking chat. There you go.
Okay. So, yeah. Farrah Abraham, So talk about Farrah Abraham.
Okay, so it's a girl who got famous for being on 16 and Pregnant, and later on its spin-off Teen Mom, where she decided to release a memoir called My Teenage Dream Ended, but decided to make it a double release with the memoir and an album, where, first of all, she is not a singer,
So, no.
and also she apparently refused to sing along to a backing track in the studio, so between a lot of arguing between her and the producer there, they eventually reached an agreement where she'd sing along to the metronome the click track,
Yeah.
which she did not sync up with it at all, and I guess the poor producer just had to do their best with it.
Yeah. And
They did their best after probably 17 six-racks of Bud Light, honestly.
And it sounds about as good as you'd imagine a woman who's only known for
Being pregnant.
being pregnant as a minor would sound.
Yeah, and yeah, we played a little snippet of a track that I just picked because it has the best title, called Unplanned Parenthood.
Which is honestly a pretty funny title. I know she's totally unself-aware through most of her career, we'll charitably call it that, but that was actually pretty funny.
Another one of my favorites, those weird orange juice commercials.
Yeah, from Germany and France.
Yeah, the first was the French Orangina.
Yeah, where
Orangina, think, where it's like the furries dancing.
yeah, and they're dancing to this very famous like Latin song where it goes, "I like it like that." Like you hear it all the time. It turns out that singer actually died this year.
Oh,
Yeah, he was ancient. He was like in his 90s, but he was
Yeah.
like the father of like this kind of like Latin music that originated out of the Bronx like in the 60s, and that's like his biggest hit that's been like used in everything. And yeah, it was used in a furry themed fruit juice
Yeah.
commercial.
which at least the furry juice commercial had kind of like classy strip teases in it.
Yeah, it was
Meanwhile,
more
the German, I forget if it was German or Russian.
it was German. It was
Yeah.
German.
There was for a drink called hooch, something where there was fruits undressing them, like, not talking about gay people, like actual oranges.
Yeah, like grapes, like unzipping themselves, and their grape boobies were coming out. And they're like,
I feel dirtier watching the actual fruits getting peeled
Yeah.
than the furries.
yeah, it was like that. It was like that boomer meme image of the banana exposing himself as just like, imagine that as a commercial. But some of the old favorites that we played got quite a bit of like. Whenever we do this panel, I don't even need to see the TV anymore because I couldn't see the TV because it was angled in such a way that if you're sitting at this panel table, you couldn't actually see the TV unless you really leaned over. And so
I was right behind it too, so I couldn't see shit.
So we played the doggy in the window commercial, and
you don't even have to look at the screen to tell like when the moment hits.
Yeah, you just have to watch the audience because the gun lowers in, and
like you'll just hear the crowd just going, "What the?"
Yeah, they're like, oh no, and it's like, and they drowned out the please give us a pound, we'll have to pull the trigger type stuff. But yeah, Cursed Media went great. No complaints there. And then we had Waifu Wars, which went great as well. But
the most civil waifu wars we've ever had.
The most chill one, which I do actually appreciate, because I think I kind of front-loaded it with me saying I'm kind of fucking tired. So,
well, I think we had a good crowd.
We did.
We had a good crowd. It felt more like a seminar on waifus than like Waifu Wars.
Yeah, I pulled up this one too while we were talking about Nebraska. So let me go through this one real quick.
Yeah, please do.
Because this list is vastly different from the last one we had.
Actually, can I go grab something real fast?
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this list. Now, this list, I did add a few things. Like, I added Sky from Pokemon because... Skyla from Pokemon, excuse me.
Because the Pokéleaks.
The Pokéleaks. The Pokéleaks were probably the funniest thing to happen. That happened after Nebraska, so that's why the lists are a little bit different. But I still think it's funny.
And then also, I think we had a lot of people come up after NebraskaCon just telling us to add more people to it, so...
We did.
So, yeah.
That was the thing. We got a lot of helpful advice from...
yeah, we did.
I brought the MD20
Nice.
for anyone who wants it.
Yeah, we did have a bunch of helpful advice. I haven't checked the email. Sorry, I'm a sinner. But...
You don't have it saved to your phone?
I haven't sent my phone, but I don't have notifications because Google is weird. Hey, wait, can you get the door?
Oh, yeah.
So it was just a little bit off, but now that Wade's back and we can go through the list. As plus, we only had 2 instead of like 8 this time. So
yeah, which was very strange.
Very, very strange and very nice, honestly. So the 2 we had were Speedwagon, of course, face motherfucker, and Faye from Cowboy Bebop.
Which I don't dispute either of those because I love both those characters.
Yeah. I mean, Speedwagon being S+ is just a given, but Faye, not complaining.
Yeah, not complaining.
You know, the funny thing is, this picture Speedwagon I pulled up is him, like, after everything's over. And,
yeah, the last time you see Speedwagon before Jonathan's death, where it's like he's watching the boat go by and he's doing his arms crossed, smiling pose.
It looks very presidential.
Which I think that was one of the first pictures that came up when we Googled Speedwagon.
Was the Pelly's hat. Speaking of which, rest in peace, Zapelli.
Oh, I love Zapelli.
Oh, God. Anyway, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So then S tier, we had Marnie Kitagawa from Dress Up Darling. Astolfo finally made it back up to S tier. Starfire from the DC universe.
Yeah.
Nico Robin, and then the Ray. Not to be specific with this one. The Ray plush.
Yeah.
The audience said the Ray plush.
Yeah, which I just put that on there to be the stand-in for Rei Ayanami, just because I wanted to have the meme image in there, but no, this person specifically referred to it as the Ray plush.
Well, you see the Ray plush, like the Ray plush was basically a computer error in plush manufacturing that just took off because of how, like,
it's iconic.
It's weirdly iconic. Like, it's such a bad design that it shoots the moon and ends up becoming like the best thing, the best plush that has ever been designed.
So bad, it's cute.
Yeah, it's so cute. Like,
and you had the one with the suction cup on there somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, there she is, up there.
I bought the bootleg of the Chiquita Ray just because I felt bad for it.
Yeah, right? I mean, I have the real Chiquita Ray. She's wrapped up in a pillowcase and like a little hammock.
Ever swaddled like a real baby?
Yeah, because she is baby. And she's taken care of by...
I think we use that to get her the S tier spot, because I think that we got to stick that in people's minds. That's hilarious.
I'm sure of it.
And then we'll go to A tier, which is
Mai from Bunny Girl Senpai.
Thank you for bailing me out. Nobara from Jujutsu Kaisen, the most mid show to ever mid. We have Ray from
Rin Tosaka.
Rin Tosaka from the Fate series, and then Rem's back up to A tier. Yours at A tier. 02 went to A tier, which the guy had some of the best defense I've ever heard of 02, which actually kind of
he
worked.
actually gave a good case.
He did.
Like, as much as I hated it, it's like, hey, you know what? If the glove fits.
Yeah. Wait, morally, I know you're wrong, but you gave such a good argument that I do have to agree with you here.
It's the Johnny Cochran of Waifu Wars.
Keep on going.
Then we have As Death in A tier, and then Tifa from the Final Fantasy VII games in A tier as well, which he should be higher. That's just me. Speaking of which, I want to draw back to Nebraska real quick. I had a guy come up and tell me that the entire con had bad taste. And because of how the list ended up for Nebraska, I'm like, dude, I know. But we have to go with what the audience
We're
votes.
just administrating.
And then B tier, we have I from Oshinoko, Urza from Fairy Tail.
I want to watch Oshinoko, just as a side note. I hear it's really good.
Yeah, we can't wait for the incest.
Never mind.
Then we have Hancock from One Piece. And Misa went back up to a tier higher and went to B tier. And Tatsumaki somehow made it up to B tier.
I do not agree with Misa being
Misa should still be an F or shit on fire in my opinion, because she's just a dumb bitch.
Yeah. But
Anyway, we got Akame from Akame Got Kill. And before I keep going, I want to say a lot of picks we had in this one were picks that weren't usually picked.
yeah, it was. That's why it was strange, because it was like, it's not usually like we put the characters like I mean, I know they got picked, but like Yor and Makima that are the easy ones, but like people were going for kind of the deep cuts.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
time.
I think this one has like probably the most deep cuts, because we have Akame from Akame Got Kill on C tier. We got Skyla from Pokemon purely because of the Pokemon, because I thought it was hilarious. We got Kairi from the Kingdom Hearts series. Finally made it up on the list. Finally.
We're talking about how this Waifu Wars had such deep cuts. Here,
Yeah.
you want me to pour for you?
And then we had Fern from Frieren, which is a good show. No matter how many people say it's boring. But yeah, we had Fern from Frieren up in C tier. And then we
I
got
want to watch Free Run sometime.
I do too.
and then we got blonde hair bitch from Panty and Stocking.
Panty.
Thank you. Panty from
Steven,
Panty.
there's two names there.
I don't give a shit about this show.
Stocking's the one I have a cosplay of, the goth one.
Also, this is my third drink tonight. Come on.
Which, funny enough,
Anyway,
like ever since me and Sarah were in high school, we kept saying that someday we're gonna do a. She's gonna be Panty, I'm gonna be Stocking, and then I bought the Stocking costume, and she still hasn't got the Panty costume.
Oof.
Like, when are we gonna do it?
And then continuing D tier, we have Panty, and then Aerith from Final Fantasy VII, and then Megumin from Konosuba. She just went up like what 2-3 tiers to D tier.
right, and who made Shit on Fire?
Let me get the F tier first. So
Okay.
F tier is Bakugo's mom and Chi-Chi from Dragon Ball.
Y'all really
Which-
put the moms in F tier?
Yeah, Bakugo's...
MILFs are out. This time we just want Speedwagon.
No MILFs, only Speedwagon.
I couldn't finish that sentence. Goddamn.
You see, this is what we want. We don't want that. We want this.
He's holding my Speedwagon plushie right now.
I say, let the record show he's holding Speedwagon right now. Shit on Fire tier, we had Yuno Gasai and Sakura Haruno from Naruto.
Send her home.
Send her home.
Bags are packed. She got her pass.
And then jail tier is the usual duo of Makima and Bitch. And then we had
Wait.
Himeno.
Oh, hold up. Who was bitch again?
Bitch, I think her name's like Melty from fucking Shield Hero.
Yeah.
Oh,
The guy, the one who
She's from Shield Hero.
she basically made made Shield Hero framed him for sexual assault, and then basically made it so he got excised from the kingdom for it.
okay. Wait. Was Urza in A tier, right?
Urza is in B tier.
Urza's in B tier.
B for Booba.
Yeah, I think that's what we said.
B for barely passing as justice. Where I like Urza, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, this list was probably
Unique.
one of the more, not just in that I really enjoyed doing Love Live or the
The
why do I keep
Waifu Wars.
why do I keep saying Love Live? I know why I keep saying Love Live. The not that I enjoyed doing Waifu Wars, I really did, but just the fact that like we already said, there were just so many deep cuts, and it was a super civil, super like fun. It just felt like a bunch of
My personal theory is that Waifu Wars gets crazy or civil the bigger or smaller the room is.
sure.
If the room, because the room we have is probably maybe just a little bit bigger than this office that we're in right now. Maybe like a few square feet.
It was probably about the size of your
Living
apartment.
room, maybe.
No, I would say if you took the whole square footage of your apartment, you would
Hauled it all out, that would be the size.
Yeah, that I would say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. Yeah, it probably was the size of the apartment because the way they did it, they had to combine like maybe 2 or 3 rooms into one area.
Because they had like 3 events going on in the Hyatt. They fit a lot of stuff in there. But yeah, I thought it went great. It was probably one of my favorite incarnations of Waifu Wars. I just thought the choices were not even inferior, just strange in certain like Bakugo's mom almost never makes it below like B tier.
I
And
mean,
here
I
she is-
was actually considering taking Yuno off the list because she never got picked too. That was the funny part.
Oh, and this panel validated her being on the list.
Well, again, I think because this was more of like a tattoo convention. And,
Sure.
And then
Older
eventually,
people there.
yeah, and then eventually the supernatural convention that happened next door. Yeah, I think. It was,
Yeah, which actually had the stars from the stars from Supernatural were like were
Like,
a
that's why-
quarter mile from where we
Yeah,
were
that's
sleeping.
why this con couldn't get the Donald D. Stevens for it.
Well, not like they would have needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too small for that.
But hey, you know what? I think Inked was a big success. I really hope it can take off and kind of like be that kind of fall con for the Midwest. But
Hey, if it replaces all the Comic Cons, shit, I'll go. I won't even pay for it. But
yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, big fans of John and Nick and everyone who runs.
yeah, especially after Waifu Wars, the second time I had to give Prophet the Midwest goodbye. John was coming back. Dude, I was like, hey, give him a handshake. Hey, good job with the Views for Villain stuff. Even though my personal gripe, I'll say this right now, the personal gripe I had is that you had the weirdest overdrive tone for your guitar on that stage, and it just bothered me just a little bit. But guitars to guitars, that's what I'm saying. But I will say that he did a good job performing. It was awesome.
It was nice to see him again because like I miss the old, like part of the reason that I do panels is because of V is for Villains, because they used to host panels at like anime conventions along with their
It wasn't like his bad music videos one. You're
Bad
like, hey, I could do that too.
yeah, bad music videos, which was the panel that they did at like Anime Midwest was really the inspiration for me. That and the bad fan fiction panel that Mr. Agitator would do, Nick would do, inspired me. I was like, these panels give me such a high that I want to do this. You know what I mean? It kind of like inspired me in a like, and now I've been doing this for like 5 years. You know what I mean? Just going to different conventions and now I don't know.
Dragging one of his friends along the day Chris Jen did the thing. To
Yeah,
Ireland, yeah.
But the thing is, I've kind of built up a reputation of like, built up kind of a brand around that whole thing. But yeah, anytime those guys do anything, I try to go out and support it because those guys gave me like inspiration when I needed it. So I'm always
And
happy.
then let's move on to the Sunday of Anime Magic
Which we-
Inc. called the We Woke Up, Ate Breakfast, and Went Home.
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't scheduled for shit, so we didn't do shit.
We did go tour the Artist Alley again, which was fun, and the
Yeah.
Artist Alley was actually really nice.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to
Was
Oh,
it like
that-
Glitters? Was it
I have to
Glitter
look up her name.
Glitters something? But I want to give a shout out to the one booth who sold like the rave looking shirts. It was in like the first room next to it was next to where we we're gonna spoil it anyway. We bought out. We basically ran the people who had the Persona Gacha, and they got the other gacha.
Galaxy Roses.
Yes, Galaxy Roses. We ran them out of change day one. So
Yeah,
I want
'cause they
again.
did-
I will apologize for that. I do feel bad for taking away all your change on the first day.
There's the Persona 5 meme buttons they did where there's different Persona 5 characters just drawn as different meme emoji things.
I got Joker.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah, all four of us, and I think Sarah bought one too, so 5 of us, we all bought jars of the gachas. So yeah, I think on Saturday they put out a thing on their Instagram story saying we're down to 4.
Oh right. I got
we bought most of their stock.
I got Ryu. Right, yeah.
I'll take your entire stock.
Which I got Ryuji, which I was happy about. I gave Heather my Yusuke, and I got Futaba in my.
And you gave me Futaba?
Yeah, I gave you my Futaba. I just wanted the Ryuji. I did want Joker because I knew that there were like a limited number of them, but I think Steven ended up with
Steven.
Joker.
I got the Joker.
Which,
Yeah, I think the only ones we didn't get were Haru, Makoto, and An.
I would have liked a Haru one.
No, we got Nan. One of us got Nan.
I didn't.
I didn't.
Did Heather get one?
No.
Or did Sarah get one?
I think Sarah might have gotten one.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I could have sworn from the 5 of us, the only 2 we didn't get were Makoto and Haru.
And there was
Yeah, you didn't get your girl.
speaking
So sad.
speaking of
Well, neither of you got your girl since your favorite's Haru.
Haru, yeah,
Who I did romance to my first playthrough of Persona 5.
nice.
Because Haru's the one that kind of makes you feel bad for rejecting her.
And I can't feel bad. It hurts the soul.
Mm.
I also feel like I get bad karma if I deny Haru anything.
So
She'll go after you with that axe.
yeah, there was like because there
Please
was
take my chocolates before I crush them.
and like there's always in artist alleys like a lot of Persona 5 stuff because it's so popular. But there was one button where it was like a close up of Morgana's
It's like
face.
Morgana and like the fisheye lens.
Yeah, the fisheye lens where the text caption is "Lady on."
Yeah, which that was the same artist.
Oh, it was the same artist. Okay, what is this artist's name?
Galaxy Roses, where it's actually a combined thing of 2 artists. Allison Beamer and J. Rose Illustration.
All right, well, those 2 artists, Galaxy Roses, y'all are awesome. You guys,
Please
you're
keep coming to more cons. We'll keep buying your stock.
yeah, we love the jars, man. We're
Yeah.
gonna
Also, I have the Yohane print in a picture frame in our apartment.
Oh, right. Yeah, so the artist alley was fun. Vendors was kind of dry, but like didn't really expect a whole lot because of how small this convention was.
And there were some big JoJo plushies, kind of like this Jonathan, but not really any of the characters I really liked. They're like, there's part 3 Jotaro, part 6 Jotaro, and then Jolene, which I haven't actually finished the part 6 anime, so
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm really gonna invest in Jolene yet.
and there were some figurines, but we're not really big figurine collectors. I mean,
I'm a plushie person, not a figure person.
yeah.
Yeah, you're a plushie person, huh?
Yeah. Because if I drop a plushie, it won't break.
Right, yeah.
Dude, if a figure falls over, I'm gonna like break its arm, and what am I gonna do?
It's funny because I actually own a Nico figurine. It's
Didn't you buy a Haneo too, or is it just the Nico?
it's just the Nico. We thought about buying the Haneo when we went to the QuadCon in Champaign,
but the Sunny Day Song Nico's on like $20.
yeah. And you know, I love Sunny Day Song.
So was Endless Hate Haruhi, and she's guarding the shrine right now. So
Right. Oh yeah. You bought that too. Anyway, so that was basically our Anime Magic Inc. 10 out of 10 convention. They better bring it back because
As long as Anime Magic keeps hosting cons, we'll keep headlining them.
we'll keep going. Well, I mean, Vias for Villains will headline them.
Yeah.
Let's be real, but like we will still come along and
It's like, as long as we can, they're in a reasonable distance from us.
yeah, absolutely.
It's like I know they were thinking of expanding out west, but like if they do a Texas one, that might be a little bit out of our range.
Yeah, but yeah, great fall con season. Our first fall con season ever. But yeah, fantastic.
Which this might be the end of me and Steven's 2024 con season, but I know you'll be going to CAD, so
I'll be going
be
to
sure
CAD.
to fill us in on any
Yeah.
big things that happen for that.
Oh, we've got lots of panels coming up for CAD.
Nice.
But let's move on to finally the anime roundup.
Anime
Then
rounds
before
up
we-
about 2 hours in.
But since we're at the halfway point, I guess I'll just go ahead and do some housekeeping now. Please like, subscribe, favorite channel, however we do that for YouTube stuff. We do plan on moving to other websites. However, we're gonna do that after these next few episodes when we debut season 5. I feel like that'll probably be the best way to start it off. And if you guys want to watch, and if we have newcomers coming to those channels, mainly just Rumble and probably BitChute more than likely.
And we need things that'll give us money.
At this point, even if Rumble decides it wants to inflate the
Me a
views.
money needing lot now.
And speaking of money, when
Give
season
us you fucking money.
when season 5 debuts, I will have merch stores open for the channel, which on Redbubble and Teespring, I believe, because I know I made accounts of those too during Nebraska, and probably because I was looking at my bank account saying that's a bit thin, but I'll be doing that. We will have them up for general prices, probably average prices of whatever YouTubers decide to do for merch prices. These won't be like the limited time runs, which seem to be getting popular. Excuse me. These will be like lifetime stuff. So, but we will probably for that first episode give out a code that will probably last like maybe like a month or two about getting like a 10% off or 15% off discount for first time stuff or whatever. But that should be up. Any other links? I do plan on making a website for us just to host all the links because thanks to Elon being Elon about Twitter, and I can't do link trees because why make everything simple? So I have to make my own website to host all the links on. Either that or just do a URL that just kind of tricks the Twitter algorithm to make me have a link tree anyway.
And I have a link tree on my Instagram now. I can just add it to mine.
Yeah, there is also a link tree on Hannah's link tree. There's also a link tree on Hannah's Instagram, Mothman's Milkman. She will normally post weeb and weeb shit.
Yep.
Wait, I messed it up. Weeb and weeb accessories. There we go.
Yeah, weeb shit and weeb shit accessories.
There we go. If you want to help us out, we all have links in the description of this video. I do have links to the Imperial Fund. I will be working on that Imperial after I graduate college this December.
And I don't really
Thank
sell.
God.
I don't really sell weeb shit. I ain't getting sponsorships.
I will have the Imperial Fund down there if you guys want to help a brother out. I want to get that car up and running to make sure that is our con vehicle because why
Roll
not?
up in style.
Roll up in style, and maybe if I can stay at Magic for like maybe 5 days, because that'd be really funny.
Enter the Edisha show.
Yeah, why not? Just turn it into the Speedwagon Edition. Have fun with it. That's what I plan to do. With that, anything else you can send. If you want to help the channel but not want to use like a Patreon alternative, I do have a Venmo. It's also linked down there if you guys want to help out the channel. This will mainly go towards. Because your boy had to switch off the Adobe stuff because Adobe was sucking about $150 a month out of my bank account and I could not afford that. If you just want to help channel, we probably just helped out to get like more of like an audio switcher and stuff like that out. And then maybe a desktop once Hannah and I move to a better place. But other than that, like, share, subscribe, favorite if that's still a thing, because apparently that's still a thing I need to say. And now we'll move on to our anime reviews.
So the first is we watched.
It was Heather's turn to pick.
It was Heather's turn to pick, and we watched an unusual pick on the surface, but it actually makes sense in context.
Not sure if it counts as an anime, but I think it's an American Chinese production.
Yeah, well, there's a shit ton of anime like voice acting veterans in the show.
It's one of Billy Kometsu's last roles in it.
Yeah, crazy to think about. It's called Lego Monkey Kid, and it's basically a retelling of
the Sun Wukong story.
Yeah, Journey to the West.
It's if Sun Wukong got like a next generation person, even though Sun Wukong's immortal 17 times over.
Yeah. So it is the same story that Dragon Ball is loosely based off of, from what I understand.
Yeah, basically anything that has to do with magic, fuckery, power pole, and anything like that is based off of Sun Wukong. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, it's actually it's pretty cute. Like, that's how I would describe the show. Is it's really cute.
Say it. There's definitely a show I'd show to a kid.
Yeah, you could.
It's like there are definitely worse children's cartoons out there. So it's like
Yeah, you can show them Coco Melon instead.
Yeah, never. I'm serious. Like,
I'd
never.
rather little kids out here be watching the Lego TV shows than Coco Melon for
Shit,
fun.
I'd rather show kids like fucking Demon Slayer than Coco Melon.
It's actually a cute story from the school. A few days ago, like little Spirit Day was just like a book character day, and
right.
the school art teacher was wearing her son's Zenitsu costume.
Aw, that's nice.
She was cute, and I took the third graders to art, and like she was kind of explaining in like more kid terms like what Demon Slayer was about. And, like,
okay.
The character Zenitsu, it's like a guy who's super powerful, but he's very scared a lot. But when he falls asleep, that's when he gets super powerful.
hey, big man, you see that? You finally got a girl to share your clothes. Anyway,
he was pointing to my Zenitsu Nesso there.
So Lego Monkey Kid, it's a cute show. Like, Stephanie Sheh's in it, Billy Kometz is in it,
Yeah.
Sean Shamel,
Sean Shamel.
Yeah,
like,
Sean Shamel was the Sun Wukong in it.
which is basically his only other voice acting role other than like Lucario and Goku. Let's be honest.
yeah, I mean a lot, and yeah, there were a lot of like Dragon Ball like heavy hitters in there. So that was cool to see.
And I think the main guy in it, I think MK was his name, where
Mm-hmm.
he's voiced by the guy that voiced Sokka in Avatar.
Maybe
I think when I looked it up, I looked up his. The other role was Sokka.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
I mean, if we're gonna review it, yeah. I will say honestly, I did check out halfway through it.
Yeah,
It is very brain rotty.
Yeah, you can. It is a good show for kids, but you can tell that show was made for kids.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to sample it, like just to see like what are
the kids into these days?
Yeah, what are kids into? But that
I will be honest. The only time I paid attention is when there was actual fight scenes that mattered.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
anytime Sean Shamel would actually just crack up the Goku voice was basically when I paid attention.
yeah, I mean, I liked it. It was fun, and like it was just something to kind of like, you know, you throw shit out and like whatever sticks is, you know. So I enjoyed it. I ended up giving it a B tier in my ranking.
I gave it a B tier as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely kid centric. But like if you're like, God forbid,
It's like if you have to babysit a kid, something and
Like,
throw something on.
babysit your young cousins or some shit like that, right?
yeah, or you're like genuinely like wanting to help like a young kid like discover what anime is, this might be a good place to start. Like, just to give them an idea of what the affectation of anime is in like a context they would understand, which would be like Lego. So that's basically where I stand on Lego Monkey
God, I
Kid.
swear to God, we're gonna get a generation of kids saying, "Oh yeah, my first anime was fucking
Monkey Kid.
Monkey Kid."
Well, I mean, you could,
I mean, probably it's
it's
like
better than
it's like
starting with Future Diary.
like I don't know what like the Chinese anime type term is, because I know Chinese animation is getting popular, but
Oh yeah.
I know when I go on the Wikipedia page from Monkey Kid, like looking up the character voice actors and stuff, it would have the character's name and then in parentheses the character's name in Chinese.
Well-
So that's how I knew this was a Chinese co-production.
Well, Heather's really gone down the rabbit hole with like C dramas,
yeah.
like what are they called?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I know there's one I always see people cosplaying online. It's like
Untamed,
it's like Maozo Dushi. I think that.
something like that. But she likes the Untamed. She likes all that stuff. So, I'll just say, you know, B tier for Lego Monkey Kid. Don't really have a lot of. Glad that Billy Kometz was in it. You know, love that guy. He really, you know, always brought all the voice actors brought their all to the table in that show. So
I wonder if a lot of them are just really happy to be part of Lego.
yeah, and who wouldn't be, because
Yeah.
Lego is such a famous brand. But yeah, B tier on Lego Monkey Kid.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Let's move
Then
on.
Yeah. I was the first one that got to pick for October, which was our spooky month.
Which is ironic, because you were also the last one to pick for October.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad for being the only one that had not. No, all of us picked our spooky month picks, but I was the only one that actually got to go just because we had such a busy October.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know usually the other few years that we've done this. So, usually for October we each pick spooky shows, but the last few times we did this I just Googled horror anime just because I usually don't really watch much shows that qualify as horror, and they've always been absolute shit. The first time we did it I Googled horror anime and found, oh, there's an adaptation of a Junji Ito anime. Then it was Gyo, which, if you've seen the Gyo adaptation, it sucks shit.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to make sure I didn't make that mistake again.
And
So, I went through the DVDs I already had, and I remembered at Midwest, I bought JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Season 1, which I had already seen that before because JoJo was my hyperfixation from like ages 16 to like 20, 21. So, yeah. Hey, JoJo Season 1 is all about vampires. Might as well pick that for Halloween.
Yeah.
And then realized Steven has never seen JoJo despite seeing like every shonen anime to ever exist. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Finally got to introduce him to JoJo and Speedwagon.
And I gotta say, JoJo was one of the first anime that I watched when I first started getting into anime. This would have been when I was like 19, 20 years old is when I really started getting into anime. And I gotta say, it holds up extraordinarily well. Like the first, like I really liked the stuff with Jonathan, but I really fell in love again with the stuff with Joseph Joestar.
Yeah.
Both of those story arcs were just fantastic.
Yeah. Also, fuck all you Phantom Blood haters out there. The Jonathan and Dio story is amazing.
Yeah, I
Like,
would.
it sets up everything for the later parts perfectly.
I was gonna say I was surprised that there were Phantom Blood arc haters, which I was like,
Yeah. Well, I don't think people really hate it as much as they just don't like it as much as the other parts.
okay,
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of get that, but if you're out here actually hating Phantom Blood, fuck you. It is just as bizarre as the other Bizarre Adventures.
oh yeah, and that's the thing.
Vampires are bizarre. Fuck off.
The affectation of this show is just pure, just energy.
Yeah, it's like even from the very beginning, it is straight up cheese.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Every
So
interaction
much-
is treated like the most dramatic experience of a person's life.
So much cheese, I forgot my crackers.
Right. Yeah. And here's
We forgot the crackers, Gromit.
and here's the funny thing, to anyone who's seen JoJo, not that you need this explained to you, but so many of the characters are named after like famous bands. Like one of the best, maybe the best character in the show, Robert E.O. Speedwagon.
And I'm gonna keep on
Loving you.
which two things. One, that was playing in the radio when I was running a bus route today, and two, Speedwagon will keep on loving the Joestar family line no matter what, till his death of old age in 1952.
Yeah, died of age 89 of a heart attack. He never married
Yeah.
because he kept on loving kept on loving the Joestar family his whole life.
Yes, which is funny how
I mean, technically, he was saved from a life of crime by the Joestars. So.
Yeah. If JoJo stabbed him with his own hat, and he decided, I will die for you.
Yeah, it's so.
I can tell you're a good man.
It's so fucking funny, but it's also so good because the action is fantastic. And so yeah, Jonathan Joestar, we go through the whole Phantom Blood arc,
the ultimate good boy.
the ultimate good boy. We get through the Phantom Blood arc. Jonathan dies, and then Joseph becomes the new main character.
And speaking of that, we need to add Lisa to Waifu Wars.
I know.
I agree.
MILF
And
material.
maybe Suzy Q too.
Suzy
Yeah.
Q,
Since
Suzy Q
she is a
would be
wife
fun.
now.
Right, yeah. So
And becomes a MILF.
so Joseph is a bit dimmer than, he's not the sharpest tool in the drawer.
Wait, no.
So
I feel like he is smart. He just doesn't let it on. He's more street smart.
more street smart. Well, fair. But so that whole plot, it basically kicks off
Like
where
he more just plays dumb. And it's like, your next line is gonna be,
yeah,
and then just
that's the thing.
hits the boomerang at them.
Yeah, that's the thing. The humor in the show just does not miss ever because it's just so ridiculous. There's a character in here named Van Stroheim.
Yeah, a literal Nazi just joins the group.
Yeah, who has like this weird, like kind of like Bandit Keith haircut going on. But here's the thing. I want to point this out. Van Stroheim was actually the name of a real silent film star in America in the 1920s. And I found this out because I was reading about
Yeah,
like
you
film.
were actually a history grad student.
Yeah, I was actually reading about. I was reading film history, and I was reading about this guy, and in the name
Yeah,
came
you
up,
saw the name Von Stroheim.
I was like, "Get the fuck out of town!" And I turned the page, and there's a picture of Von Stroheim in like a movie, and he's wearing like a white Navy uniform. I was like, "Bruh, is this a motherfucking JoJo
Yeah.
reference?"
And I just went to the JoJo wiki, searched up Stroheim, and yep, like in like the info, like that info block of the JoJo wiki, it has like the namesake of each character, and yeah, it did say Von Stroheim, movie star.
You thought you were going to get a thesis defense, but really it was me. Deal. Oh yeah, the banger after banger in terms of lines, and also music. Holy shit, the music
Yeah.
in the
It's like, I feel like it is impossible to pick a favorite JoJo OP because all of them go hard.
I would say that my favorite OST is the Pillarmen theme.
Yeah.
There was no reason that theme had to be that hard, and yet
Because it's what that means. Like the guys are like, okay, so it's just the Pillarman. It's like these three vampires saying that they're really odd bands. You don't have to go that hard. Guy with the flaming piano starts playing.
ay.
Made the ultimate gym theme to make you work out is get the Pillarman
Oh,
body.
One of my favorite comments from the Pillarmen theme YouTube video is like, imagine you're walking in the British Museum, you're looking at a statue, and you hear, ay.
Awaken my masters.
Yeah. Actually, what's funny is, so in grad school, you can do either a thesis or you can do a field of study exam. That's where, like, you answer, it's basically like a long form kind of test where it's like you get asked 3, 4, 5 questions, whatever the case, usually no more than 6, about like the historiography, like how the history has been like recorded throughout time. And I actually have a good friend of mine who's doing a field of study next semester, and on the Pillarmen theme, there's a comment in there that I was like, this test only has 3 questions. How hard could they be? The 3 questions. And the thumbnail has the 3 Pillarmen.
Cars, Wham, and AC/DC.
Cars, Wham, and AC/DC. And so I clipped that, and I sent that to him, and he just laughed his ass off. He said, "Hey, man, I actually really needed that right now." Because he knew about JoJo, he knew about the Pillarmen, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, as ridiculous as it is, as cheesy as it is, it still holds up.
Yeah.
It's still an engaging adventure. Like when, spoiler alert, when Caesar Zabelli dies.
Yeah, that fucking hits.
Yeah, like when Joseph just screams Caesar, which is funny because that's become kind of a meme. But
Yeah,
in
like
the moment, it is actually emotional.
It's part when it's like Lisa's not showing any emotion, that cold-hearted bitch, and then like, Lisa, you put that cigarette in wrong, and then the camera pans over to see her just shaking.
Right? Yeah. Oh, I love Lisa. She's great.
She's a great MILF, yes.
Yes.
So, I know we kept quoting all the time. So wait, you were a baby 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Counting on his fingers. So
50.
how old are you?
Yeah, 50 years ago. Go take your time, Joseph. Don't forget to carry the one.
He probably carried the one and put it back.
So the same. Joseph just shows up at a funeral, eyes over his grandma's hand. It's like puts his hand over his grandma's eyes. Guess who?
Which is literally how the show ends because they think Joseph died at the very end, but then he shows up to his own funeral and they have like kind of a convoluted reason as to why.
It's like, and now he just got shot into pretty much got shot into space, but then just landed back in the ocean, got picked up by a fisherman's boat, and married that cute Italian girl that was living on the island.
Right, yeah, which was cute to see.
It was like wait, you forgot to send the fax that I was still alive.
Yeah, yeah.
Oopsie.
Right, and one thing I'll say about JoJo realizing it upon rewatch, because this is probably like the third or fourth time I've rewatched it, is I didn't realize until now that it was actually specifically written in the late 80s. So I'm realizing that all of these bands that
that was literally what Araki was listening to.
that
at
was
the
just
time.
on the radio. It would have been Speedwagon. It would have been Tom
Yeah.
Petty. It
Which
would
is-
have been.
I feel like all of the ending songs in JoJo are literally songs that Araki said he was listening to while he was writing JoJo. So it's like Roundabout is the ending for season 1 because while he was writing part 1, part 2, like Roundabout just was one of the songs that was on his playlist.
Oh right, yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I learned that song for my older brother.
Oh, I love Roundabout. Like the whole song is actually worth a listen because it's so good. But it's famous for the JoJo to be continued meme.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is funny when you get to part 5, which part 5 is the one that's about the mafia in Italy, and remember when that got confirmed for an anime, all of us in the fandom at the time were thinking it was going to be Gangsta's Paradise.
oh right.
But nope, it ended up being Freaking You by Jodeci, which the opening line of that is, every time I close my eyes, I wake up feeling so horny. like, why is this the song?
Because it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But
It's like
So-
the main character is a 15-year-old boy in the mafia.
so
Which
right.
then again, he is also Dio's son.
so who was Tom Petty's like student?
Of
Dire
Zeppeli.
and Straits.
What?
Zeppeli.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
Tom,
also- there's
Tom
al-
Petty trained Zeppeli.
There's also Dire and Straits.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of like music deep cuts in here. But yeah.
I was going to say, going back to Persona a little bit. Remember, Joker can beat Giorno. Just gonna leave that there. Go on.
Anyway, so having rewatched it, I would say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1. I put it in an A tier, but it's like a very strong A tier because I think it still
It's
holds.
like the almost S tier, A tier.
Yeah, and it's not even the corny like affectation that's holding it back. No, that's what's propelling it forward. It's just
Like, it could have been more.
I think this is my biggest bitch with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Season 1 or Part 1 is the fact that Jonathan's story, which I became so attached to, gets sidelined, and then we get Joseph. Not that I dislike Joseph.
Like, part 1 should have been longer.
Part 1 should have been longer, and maybe you do Joseph as like part 2, like maybe separate the two, and develop both those stories out further. Because I would have liked to have seen more Zeppeli. I would have liked to have seen more Speedwagon in his prime, Tom Petty, all that stuff. But as it stands now, yeah, high A tier. High A tier for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, I also gave it a very high A tier.
Yeah. Oh, if you like Joseph and Susie Q together, you're not gonna like part 4.
Oh.
Which,
I've only gone up to Stardust Crusaders, which is like part 3.
The reason Josuke is part of the JoJo bloodline is because Joseph cheats on Susie Q while he's in Japan.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Even after the line in the very end of part 2.
Yeah. It's like, I hate the... Yeah, like, the very last scene you get with Joseph in season 1 is him as the old man he is in Stardust Crusaders, where he's in the Japanese airport and like a Japanese man helps him. Like, wait, are you Japanese? And just kicks the guy in the face. Like, my daughter married a Japanese man. I hate the Japanese.
Well, no,
I'll never forgive the Japanese.
Well, what happened was that he didn't hate them because of that. Because the guy ran into his shin with a suitcase too. But he also was like, my daughter married one of you fucks and then moved halfway across the world from me.
I don't get to see her as often anymore.
Yeah. So that's where I stand on. Oh yeah. So that's where I stand on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We're gonna take a break from anime and talk about a very important thing that we watched.
Very important piece of our history.
Yeah, we. So I don't know if you can tell, but we are big Love Live fans in this house.
Yeah, and
in this house,
earlier this year, I went on a little bit of a Surugaya spending spree and bought a bunch of Muse's live Blu-rays, and one of those included Day 2 of Muse's final live. So really, it was the final Muse live. Yeah, it broke us.
We all had different points where we started crying, right? Because the concert, in and of itself, like every concert that we've seen from Muse has been fantastic. Hannah decided to pick ones that only had all 9 of the members there, which fine by me.
It was the New Year's 2013 live that didn't have Nanjo. Nanjo couldn't be there just because she had obligations with her other band, Ripside.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I couldn't find that one on Surugaya anyway, so... And I didn't really want to do a deep dive to try to find it anyway, since, yeah, I wanted all 9 members too, so...
Like I said. But we've watched every Muse concert, and they've been fantastic. You can see definitely where they've been getting more popular, where they've been getting more money.
What was
and
the
everywhere.
first concert we watched?
The very first Muse live in 2012.
So this would have been pre-anime.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it wasn't until... I think it was the 2013 3rd anniversary live where they announced they were getting an anime.
Oh, right.
And then there was the 2014 live where they performed the season 1 anime songs, and then the 2015 live they performed the season 2 songs, and then 2016 was the last Muse live.
Right.
Yeah, and then again, all the concerts, especially the final live, have been fantastic. Especially all the jokes we've been making about the guys pulling the carts.
Yeah,
it's all of this time before I actually watched the concerts on Blu-ray with my own eyes. I just assumed all the songs were on carts. There was just an automatic
a track. Yeah, like a track.
Yeah, like a pre-programmed thing like amusement parks have, but no, while we were watching the concerts on Blu-ray, like, we just looked in close and you can see actual guys just pulling the carts. Like those rickshaws.
We started singing fucking plantation songs while they were doing Pascal, working.
Yeah, right. So yeah, with all of the lives, I thought all of them were fantastic. The fact that they don't even have English subtitles has never bothered me, because I never doubted.
Like, even like when they're doing their little talking bits, like even though we can't understand a word of it, like we can just tell they're having fun.
Yeah.
They're just happy to be there.
Yeah, except for this final live, because during the final live, well, they're having fun during the opening part of it, but then they get to
like when they start doing their little character introductions thing, where like they do the little character call and response things to the crowd, and then like as themselves give their own little introductions. And yeah, Uchi, who's Aya Uchida, the voice of Kotori, it's like right in the middle of hers, she starts breaking down.
Yeah, and it was at that moment I knew
we're in for
we're fucked.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: the concert is not like sad at all. It's a fantastic concert.
Yeah, they go all out on the production value.
Yeah, and one thing I realized, well, there are a couple things I realized, but one of the big things that I realized is that I really like Printemps, like the Printemps song for
It's Honoka, Kotori, and Hanayo's subunit.
Yeah, which is a subunit that I haven't really paid attention to that much because I'm more focused on like BB and what was that other subunit?
Lily White.
Yeah, and
which personally, Lily White is my favorite just because musically I love them more.
Yeah, but I haven't really paid attention to Printemps much. But there are a lot of Printemps songs in the final live.
Yeah, it's like it's easy to write them off as like, oh, it's just the cutesy hyper unit.
Yeah.
They actually do have some really banger songs.
Yeah, like my favorite is the Happy Holiday song.
Sweet and Sweet Holiday.
Yeah, their voices harmonize like really well together, and they work. They play off of each other very well. Yeah, they kind of have the vibe of being the cute ones together, but their songs work fantastically with one another.
And in fact, what I love about Printemps is like every single, there's the A side and the B side. Like there's always one song that's just like the I love you, but you will never love me. You only see me as a friend. And then the other song is just like, we're happy.
Oh, in
like their first single's Love Marginal, which Love Marginal literally is the you're friend zoning me, but I love you so much. Then the B side, Happy Holiday, Happy Holiday.
I mean, I was just happy to see them perform these songs, like, because usually, like, a lot of the bigger songs, like Love Wing Bell and like,
I mean, Love Wing Bell literally was only performed at the 2015 and final live because it was a season 2 song.
No, I know, but like those songs get kind of more attention, and I feel like some of the Printemps stuff kind of gets sidelined. But yeah, Printemps was great. Like,
I remember you commented on their outfits.
Oh yeah, I said that
for the final live, all the subunits were dressed in the outfits they had in the the very first single, like their CD jackets for those, like what the characters were wearing in those. They recreated them for the final live, and yeah, you said the Printemps was dressed like they were going to the worst bachelorette party in Houston.
Yeah, that's what I said. And Hanayo had like a Christina Aguilera thing going on.
And Kotori in like her cowgirl outfit.
Yeah.
With the uneven pants.
Yeah, which I
one
never understood.
One leg was shorts, the other leg was capris.
Yeah, which I never understood. But yeah, that's where I stand on Printemps.
On one hand, I kind of want to buy the cosplay of that outfit, but on the other hand, I know I'd be super uncomfortable in those pants.
Right, you'd be like, your knees would just not register right.
Yeah,
with that.
One of my legs is colder than the other. I hate this.
Yeah. But moving on from Printemps, I really liked question mark Heartbeat.
Like of the final 2 lives, they were really showcasing Kusun's ballet experience.
Yeah, because in Steven, you might know about this, but what did Kusun do during the
spin?
the question mark heartbeat. The
Run away, now run away now.
Yeah, and did just a full ballet spin, which is what Nozomi does in the anime, by the way. But
which also during the 2015 live when they were doing the season 2 Blu-rays included little bonus tracks, which some of them were duets, some of them were character solos, but Nozomi got a solo, Moshimo Karakito. During the live performance, during the instrumental break, Kusum does a ton of ballet moves.
Oh, okay.
Like, that was really cute.
Yeah. And
it's also a cute thing about the 2015 live. They gave Kusun a birthday party on stage after Dancing Stars on Me.
Oh, yeah. And
it's a Nozomi Center song, even though Honoka gets all the solo parts in the anime version. But
yeah, I don't know why it was billed as a Nozomi song if you weren't.
Nozomi gets the cutest outfit, and that's that song.
True.
Anyway.
I mean, I see that outfit everywhere, like at
little Nozomi witch outfit.
Yeah, I see that everywhere at conventions, but
it's the day 2 of the 2015 live was on February 1st, which is Kusun's birthday. So right after they finished the song, started singing "Happy Birthday to you."
Yeah,
they wheeled out a cake.
Yeah, a cake which she couldn't enjoy for the next hour and a half, but it was still a very sweet gesture, and you could tell it meant a lot to Kusun. But here's the thing about question mark heartbeat. I really like it when Nico or Soromaru, who plays Nico, and Kusun, who plays Nozomi. I really like it when they're in subunits together because I think their voices harmonize really well. Like there was one of the
they do have a duet song together.
They do have a duet song.
It's Otomeshi Ki Renai Juku.
Yeah, and I've
like something Girls Charm School.
Yeah, you linked it to me, and it sounds great. But one of the
that's a song where the two of them are just kind of bullying each other.
Yeah,
like a lot of Nico duets are just other girls, just Nico and the other girl bullying each other.
Right. Yeah. But the Christmas Live 2013, apparently Ellie had some,
as the New Year's 2013, where she had obligations with Fripside, which is her band at the time.
Oh, so she wasn't injured.
No, she wasn't injured at that. I think it was during 2015 to 2016, around that period where Nanjo messed up her knee.
Okay, well, Nanjo couldn't perform in the 2013 live. That's Ellie's seiyuu. So they switched.
During the BB sections, they had Reapy do Diamond Princess and Kusun do love novels.
Yeah, and I thought for love novels, Kusun really did well in that song, but also like really worked well with Nico or Soromaru's sort of vocal range. Like it sounds like a really good, like kind of a glimpse into a subunit that never was, which would have been Maki, Nico, and
Nozomi.
Maki, Nico, and Nozomi. Yeah, absolutely. So I just wish that these two.
He's holding my Nico and Nozomi plushies.
Yeah, that Nico and Nozomi would have performed more together because they sound great together. They really do.
Yeah.
So what are your guys' like standout highlights from the final live before we move on to the end?
And I remember when they're performing Bokuhika, Bokutachi no Hitotsu no Hikari at the very end, where like when the camera panned over to Soromaru crying. That's where I started breaking down.
Oh, okay. Steven, what about you?
Yeah, whenever they're on the flower,
Bokuhika?
Yeah, when Kusun was breaking down, I'm like, oh, there it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when me and Steven were driving home from your place after watching that, in the car, just started singing.
Oh, and you almost kicked her out of the car.
I just about stopped at the railroad tracks and told her to fucking walk home, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So we get through all the fun sections of the concert, right? We get to
in disc 1, besides Kusun, Uchi crying during her introduction. Like, the rest of that's really good. And then disc 2 is mostly just the subunits, and then some of the movie songs are...
Yeah, and the movie songs make sense. Like, I thought it was a really good performance of Sunny Day Song.
And then, like, when got to disc 3 and they did Moment Ring, which was billed as the final Muse song, like, it was, like, the final single, then, like, that felt really sad for me, because, like, that was more, like, the song's, like, think about all the fun times we had together.
Yeah. And, then the concert, kind of winds down, and they all start giving their, goodbyes, thank you for supporting us,
And then they did the final encore, which was Bokuhiko, where they kind of recreated what they did at the end of the movie, where, like, the flower stage, and the flower opens up and it's all of them dancing in it.
Yeah.
Which, I do love how they did the transforming dresses, too. It's like they're all wearing kind of white dresses at the beginning, and then during the final chorus, they, like, a transforming dress thing, where they, like, pulled a thing and then spun around, and they were all wearing dresses that were in their image colors.
Yeah, and, I mean, I need to get away from this quick before...
They just love Muse so much.
Yeah, but putting that concert in sort of a sense of scope of how big it was...
They sold out the Tokyo Dome on both days.
Yeah, they sold out the Tokyo Dome both days. And I want to put this into perspective of how hard that is to do. Madison Square Garden, which is one of the most famous concert venues in the world, really, can only hold about 20,000 people. It can only hold about 20,000 people. Soldier Field in Chicago, which is also, it's not as famous, but it's actually kind of the more accessible concert venue, that can hold about 60,000 people. And the Tokyo Dome can hold almost 60,000 people for concerts.
They pretty much sold out Madison Square Garden twice over every day of that concert.
Basically, yeah. And they sold out Soldier Field.
Yeah. Which, according to the Love Live Wiki, the concert took place on March 31st and day 2 was April 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So, and those days are typically the graduation days for Japan's high school and colleges. So, apparently people were leaving their graduation ceremonies just in a rush, getting to the concert venue in time to get their seats.
Right, yeah. But
so imagine just dipping out of your grad school graduation early just to get to the Love Live concert.
But yeah.
And hell, I would have skipped my high school graduation for Muse. Except that it was in the middle of my sophomore year, so I was getting live updates from the Love Live Wiki's Twitter while I was in the lunchroom.
Right, yeah. So, Steven, Hannah, y'all want to give your final thoughts on the final live, so to speak?
Very good, almost cried.
Yeah, broke me.
Yeah.
And due to my frequent Surugaya halls, we have a couple Aqua concerts and a couple Niji concerts to watch next. So,
right, and
I think you want to watch the Niji concerts next, because we're all Niji stans here.
Yeah,
It's like all of us kind of have the unpopular opinion that we like Niji more than Aqua.
Yeah, broadly speaking, but
yeah, let's go ahead and move on from this until we can get this done in a reasonable time.
Yeah, if we don't go over 3 hours.
How
probably 2.5.
Okay. I do want to say one thing before we move on. The final live broke me so much that I just sat in my basement, drank, and listened to Behind Blue Eyes by The Who for the rest of the night.
Just don't listen to Sayonara a Sayonara, the B-side to the final single, Goodbye to Goodbyes.
Oh, nice.
Hannah sent you that for like 3 days straight. I'm like, you're going to be a bit mean about that, huh?
Yeah. I remember there was one Vine that was going around in the Love Light community where it's like that news interview where like the kid says something and then just immediately starts crying after, where people just put like the chorus of Sayonara, Sayonara over that. The kid crying like.
Yeah.
As the kid's crying.
So, let's move on to being sad, or me being angry, kind of.
Fairy Tail.
Fairy Tail. The Tower of Heaven arc. I want to say, I did not hate this arc. I did not like how it ended, but there's a lot.
As a Fairy Tail fan, I get it.
I mean, the only thing I'd say about it is just, it's more Fairy Tail.
There's a lot. Okay, there's a lot that I do love about this arc. For anyone who doesn't know, Tower of Heaven arc is basically the Urza backstory arc. Steven, if you want to fill in some of the edges there, but
I can't after you're done, yeah.
Well, no, I was just saying that was the Urza backstory arc.
Basically how Urza got to Fairy Tail, why she was, what happened to her before Fairy Tail, and, yeah.
Yeah, so, basically what happened was, it's actually really cool, what Urza's backstory is. She was a child slave.
It's really cool. She was a child slave.
She was a child slave who led a rebellion against her evil overlords who were literally building the Tower to Heaven, because what this tower is supposed to do is like open up heaven and you can become like
you bring back the dead by opening heaven.
Yeah, but also they talked about like being able to rule the world and stuff.
That's because they always bring back Zareth, but Zareth comes. Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it.
So, Urza is friends with this like magical kid named Jalal.
The psychopath, yes.
Yeah, the would-be psychopath. Who the two are friends originally, but then Jalal basically offers himself up as a sacrifice to save Urza.
Yeah, I will say, in the very last episode we did miss. Well, not the last episode where we're setting up for the next one, but we did miss a part of an after credits scene, which I should have been more vigilant about, where we do. No, it's actually after the end of the Battle of Fairy Tail arc. I'll save that for later. Sorry, guys, I got my shit mixed up.
Okay, do you want me to continue?
Yeah,
on?
keep going.
So, Urza basically makes sure that Jalal's sacrifice wasn't in vain and leads this slave rebellion, which is actually interesting to see. Like just this, 10, 12-year-old child leading this slave rebellion that ends up basically destroying the slave system that they were in.
Okay, fun fact about that. If things are right, she is probably more closer to 8 or 9 years old when she leads that rebellion.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, shows
because
how strong...
Because there's further backstory, because her backstory gets piecemealed out over the course of the seasons.
So this isn't the end of her backstory?
No, it just gets expanded upon. Just gets more expanded upon.
Okay, so...
But the thing is, she gets dropped... She is in the village that she gets taken from. She gets taken when she's about 5?
Okay.
Forced to work for 4 years and leads a rebellion.
Okay, yeah. And the rebellion, they end up winning. Urza gets to the top of the Tower of Heaven, but it's already too late because Jalal has been corrupted and turned evil, and then Urza basically gets expelled from the Tower of Heaven and finds her way to Fairy Tail. And that's basically the story. She did leave behind like a crew of friends who thought that she had betrayed her, like Sho, who's played by Greg Ayres.
And you can tell?
Yeah, you can tell pretty much. Millie is the cat.
Miliana.
Yeah, the cat girl. And then there was the big dude that you liked.
Simon.
Yeah, Simon.
Was that the J. Michael Tatum guy?
Yes.
And so basically this arc is Urza goes back with her old friends. When
She doesn't go willingly. She's kidnapped.
No, I know she's kidnapped, but she, obviously gets her way out of it, but vows to defeat Jalal and then her friends, Lucy, Natsu, Gray, Juvia, who is now apparently part of the team, is part of that expedition. Happy is too, but he's like mostly separated through most of it.
Because,
It threw some pretty funny shenanigans.
oh god, what's his name? Like Frankie or some shit?
Yeah.
Who turns into like oh god, I cannot remember. He watches. He becomes like this kid, like you watch like a movie that becomes your childhood.
Yeah.
For a long time, he watched a fucking gangster movie, and then like American gangster movie, and then that just becomes his personality and magic because he turns into Roblox.exe.
Well, that's the thing. That movies actually do exist in the world of Fairy Tail, which I thought was interesting. Because they actually do have, like, film projectors and everything. But,
It's cute too, they're called Lacrima.
But they, so Urza reunites with her, Fairy Tail friends, like Natsu and Lucy and everything. And, Urza is determined to, get rid of Jalal, or at least defeat Jalal so he doesn't use the Tower of Heaven to
Resurrect Zareth.
Yeah, exactly. And that's basically the main crux of the arc. And I gotta say, I like the arc for the most part, but the way it fucking ended, holy fucking shit! Like, this arc was approaching S tier, and then went way fucking down. So
I know this is out of order what we usually go in, but I'm gonna give the tier and then explain myself. I give this arc so in our group chat we usually share lists, which I've been behind on for a while, but we usually share tiers of where we put the show, and I have Fairy Tail between A and B tier.
yeah.
This is one of the reasons why it's like nearing B tier for me, but I can't actually place it on that divide because there's other parts of the show that makes it good, and other parts of the show that makes it meh. But it really is like, this was one of the arcs that's like, man, this show kind of dropped the ball, didn't it?
Yeah.
Then again, blame A1 for this one because A1 was in charge of this arc distribution, and it went the way it did.
Yeah, Can I explain why I found this arc so odious?
Go ahead.
Okay, so the arc for the first, it was only what, like a 9-episode arc?
Mm-hmm.
First 8 episodes, fantastic. Okay, typical Fairy Tail stuff. It's working great for me. I want you to know that I'm still loving Fairy Tail. I think it's still a great show. This last episode does something so bonkers. Well, maybe not so bonkers. It's not like unprecedented, but so Urza ends up in the show. Spoiler alert: she gives her life to save her friends.
Put heavy air quotes around gives her life, by the way, because that doesn't fucking happen.
That's what I'm getting to. And then Urza sees the funeral of herself, where all of her friends are distraught over her death. And then Urza just decides, I don't want to be dead anymore, basically. And then she's she is.
I'll correct you after you're done.
What the fuck are you talking about? She was willed back to life.
Okay, so in writing,
are you defending this?
I will, because it's funny. So
it's not a defense.
It's
not
a defense.
A troll.
Okay, so the part we're missing here is that Jalal got the Magic Council to shoot the equivalent of 5 nukes towards the Tower of Heaven, because the Tower of Heaven has a lacrima built inside of it that can absorb the Etherion cannon, right? and that's what it uses to bring back people to life. And so Urza tries to give her life, but Jalal ends up taking the brunt of it, and it's a weird convoluted thing that apparently the show just goes with it, and we're not given any type of repercussion because, again, A1 rushed the shit out of this, and the manga explains it a little bit more, but they wouldn't have satisfied Wade anyway. But I will say that in the manga it is explained that the Ethan Anna showed Urza what would happen if she took the brunt of it.
That would have been better. I would have accepted that without complaint, honestly.
Because then you see Natsu pull out of the Sea of Magic, and then Plot Armor.exe happens, and then I get Wade's position.
Okay, see, if they had done it like the manga, no problem. I would have taken that. The problem is that in the anime, they don't really do that.
Again, that's what I say, blame A1. They fucked this one in the dirt. You see why they got rid of A1?
Yes, actually. But that's my point. That, like, the ending as it is written so terribly that Steven's explanation actually makes more sense. Because it's like you watch that ending in the show and you're like, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense.
Because they never explain that the Ether Nano is showing Urza's thoughts about what she thinks is going to happen after everything happens. But because A1 decided, hey, instead of an actual, we're not going to give this like a healthy amount of like maybe 10, 15 episodes. We're just going to only give it like fucking 8. And so...
But that's why I was so indignant. I was like, there can't... That's the only explanation that makes sense, that they cut stuff out of the manga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, there's no way
something's got, like, a little bit too much got left on the cutting room floor from A1, yeah. That's about it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have even needed, like, that much more to make it make sense. You maybe would have needed an episode more to make it function. And I would have given the arc... I would have given the arc a higher rating, admittedly. But yeah, that's where I stand with the anime only. Knowing that context about the actual arc in the manga makes me understand and makes me frustrated with A1 Pictures. But as it stands, I have to give this arc.
Now let me tell you where A1 was at the time with this, right? Fairy Tail was the main thing on their plate, and they still decided to rush the shit out of this.
Yeah, that sounds like A1, to be perfectly honest.
And to be honest, they are in Fairy Tail, where magic is the main power system. You couldn't have done some reachy bullshit like everyone else does with fucking Fairy Tail, right? No one, they're not gonna do that? No? Okay, sure. It would have taken like maybe an extra minute or so inside the episode itself to explain that the Ether Nano is projecting this into her mind, and then she gets saved because she's in the sea of Ether Nano, whatever, right?
Yeah, and
it would take like 5 extra minutes.
And it's a fair explanation, but as it stands in the anime, and I'm not even saying this to deny anything that you say. No, your explanation makes total sense, because so far the writing in Fairy Tail has actually been pretty up to par, and like there's not been a lot of like power. Because that's what
since like 2011 they actually put effort in, huh?
Well, here's the thing. That's what it reminded me of. Like, the reason that Urza came back to life in the anime felt like a real, like, power of friendship kind of moment. You know what I mean? Where it felt like Urza could just will herself back to life because of the power of friendship. But hearing what you're saying now about the Fairy Tail manga, that makes way more sense, and I wish that they had adapted it better to, like, to put that more into the context of the manga. But as it stands now, like, and keep in mind, this is a terrible arc in and of itself. Not really. The ending kind of dropped the ball, but I've seen anime that I've loved have dropped the ball before. This dropped the ball in a very kind of studio interference type way, that it's like, okay, I get why it was done. I'm mad at the studio, but I'm not mad at the creatives, because, there's a difference there. So I still stand with my B tier rating, but with that, like, massive caveat.
Now let me share why what my honest thoughts on this, right? As a Fairy Tail watcher, who's watched the entire show and also skipped the fillers because I don't have time for that. This was one of the weaker arcs.
You have time to watch a whole 300 episode shonen show, but you're still gonna skip the filler?
Like any shonen anime watcher does, yes.
I mean, they do those types of edits where they take like a big shonen show and will
Drop it down,
It's
yeah.
like saying, I don't have time for filler, yet the entire show is 300 episodes long, even without the filler.
I will say each arc has been.
Seasonal peasant. Anyway.
I will say each arc has been impactful the way that you've been showing them to us.
Yeah, I figured that'd be better than just kind of like shotgunning it like I did with Hannah the first time.
Yeah, like showing each arc has really worked.
And I think like by the first 12 episodes, I was just already drifting off doing my own thing.
Yeah, she was. But anyway, again, I will say that this was one of the weaker arcs because, again, rushed interference. They had to, because the weird thing about this arc is that they had, I think A1 was trying to get this season to be, the way that A1 structured the seasons was probably fucky. Because Fairy Tail in total has 9 seasons, and the first season is like 50-ish, 51 episodes, and like maybe 10 to 15 episodes of filler.
Can I say something positive about the ending, though?
Go ahead.
Because I do have something positive to say. That while I dislike the ending quite intensely, the epilogue with like Urza and her friends was actually quite heartfelt, and I did actually enjoy that. Where like Sho and Millie and who's the other guy? The guy who was like basically
Frankie, I think his name was.
Yeah, the guy who was literally oops all cubist. Those three basically, who were Urza's friends when they were all slaves, basically forgive. They basically have a big forgive and like go off, seek your own adventure. And I don't know if those characters come back later on in the show. Steven's giving me kind of a wishy-washy look about this whole thing, so we'll see. But
yeah, I'm gonna save that for later.
Save it for later. But I thought it was a good epilogue, especially when you connect it to like the whole slave rebellion arc and like what Jalal was like. Jalal was effectively feeding Urza's friends lies, and they were finally able to see the truth for the first time. So I thought that was an effective like kind of epilogue, despite my very mixed feelings about the ending.
You know, as a watcher, I like how you call it an epilogue because technically that is the ending and how it's supposed to end. It's just the way that Urza got saved was some massive plot convenience.
No, the whole thing. I'm telling you how I'm seeing it. The whole thing is like the ending, but that section with Urza's friends in the boat, to me, that's like an epilogue.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
No, I get it.
But I get it from your perspective as well.
Yeah.
So
the last episode we left off on leads into the Battle of Fairy Tail arc.
Yeah, which you talked about in the car ride.
And I believe Heather actually has amped up that arc a lot. So
yeah, she talked about it to me. So I'm excited for it. I mean, I'm excited for all of it. At this point, I am a Fairy Tail fan because I'm like, however many episodes. How many episodes are we in? We're like
41 or 42.
Yeah, fairly. Not deep in, but we're getting there. So, and I've never been like, oh man, this shit sucks. You know what I mean? It's been good throughout. It's just certain decisions I've sort of quibbled with throughout.
So I guess how many more shows do we have? This actually doesn't depend. How many
Just
more?
the 2 movies we watched today.
Cool. So of this season that we watched, because Battle of Fairy Tail is the last arc of the season, so we're gonna leave that out. Of the arcs we've seen, what's been your favorite?
I think the Galuna Island.
Galuna Island.
Galuna Island, you too?
Galuna Island.
I would say so too. For me, of the first season, but for me, it is heavily it is dueling for me with Battle of Fairy Tail, but that's just my end. But I will say Galuna Island is more than likely my favorite arc because Gray's backstory is, oh boy.
Yeah, I really like, and I like Gray as a character. So seeing
Probably the best Cryomancer I've ever seen actually done in anime.
yeah,
Even including as Death. Suck it, nerds.
right. So yeah, that's where I stand on this arc. B tier. I wish the ending had been better, but all in all, it was a good arc throughout.
B tier. It's Fairy Tail.
Yeah, and I've told these two already, and those Fairy Tail fans that I know who are listening to this, I know Urza does more power friendship bullshit, and yes, I am also one of the people who hates it, and why Urza has not actually been one of my favorite characters throughout the entire show, mainly because I'm just gonna say this, most of her arc after this is just asspools of power friendship.
And I have noticed, like, even before when I started going to conventions when I was 14, and, like, I had never seen any bit of Fairy Tail before Steven started showing me it earlier this year. Like, I have noticed that even when I was 14, I've seen more Juvia cosplayers than any other Fairy Tail character.
Juvia and Lucy are the top cosplay characters. We might get some more from like the latter half of Fairy Tail showing up, so I'm not going to spoil that for you two.
I mean, I feel like Juvia probably is like the more recognizable character to me, probably just because the blue hair and kind of like Russian girl outfit.
I mean, I was only being facetious when I was like, "Oh, this water chick is back," but I actually do like Juvia. Like, I think she's a good like comedic.
You'll definitely
character.
like her in the next arc then.
And I can probably see, like, when I started going to cons when I was 14, I can imagine little 14-year-old girls being obsessed with Gray.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
I could see girls wanting to cosplay Juvia just because they love Gray.
Sure.
But this next arc is definitely going to be a good one. I can guarantee that. It's going to be better than this one, I can tell you that much.
And
But
now we're going to get to a movie that I recommended Wade to get.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
now
I
we-
bought
now we
it
move on
on
to
the
the
spot.
we will move on to the movies now.
But
But B tier overall for Fairy Tail.
yeah.
Moving on.
I'll let Hannah introduce the movie because I need to go take care of some business.
Okay, so this was a movie that I found out over the summer from a video essay that I stumbled upon on YouTube about animes about bands, music-themed animes, and this is one of the movies the guy highlighted in. It's called Ongaku Our Sound. That's the full English title, but I think the Japanese title is just called Ongaku, which is the Japanese word for music. It's pretty much entirely rotoscoped, really cheaply animated movie, which makes sense because the movie, according to the back of the box from the DVD that Wade bought at NebraskaCon, it was pretty much entirely animated by the director. Yeah. This movie looks like the best Adult Swim show that Adult Swim had no input in and has never aired on Adult Swim before. It's a movie about these three delinquent guys, Kenji, Ota, and Asakura, that Kenji just pretty much just accidentally steals a guy's bass guitar and then says, "Hey, guys, we're gonna start a band."
Yeah.
Then they steal instruments from the music room of their school, which Ota accidentally steals a bass because Kenji thinks he has a guitar. It's like, "Hey, dude, this is just this is the same instrument you have." "Oh, well, we'll make it work."
Yeah.
And then Asakura goes to the drums and asks, "Hey, which drum should I take?" "Whatever you can carry."
Yeah.
So he steals the bass drum and a snare. So
No, I think he steals like a tom and a snare.
yeah. I think he has the bass drum too.
No, he has the bass drum at the end.
Oh.
So,
So yeah, it's just the two basses and just two parts of a drum set. Just they just have one song that you go just da 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 da.
yeah, yeah, and so since we're talking about
Which I think-
Ongaku, the thing that I liked about it is, it it was very bizarre, right? It had a very bizarre, very Adult Swim-ish affectation to it.
It's like pretty much as soon as the movie started going, you pretty much said exactly what I thought when I was watching it by myself back in like June or July. And I watched it, like, you said, this looks like China, Illinois.
Yeah, it looks like an Adult Swim show.
Yeah,
but
that's what I always introduced the show as. That it's like the best Adult Swim show that Adult Swim had no input in and
Yes.
has never aired on Adult Swim.
Yes, exactly. And I do like when they're carrying all their musical instruments, they reference Abbey Road.
Yeah, they're just crossing the street with Kenji going across, Ota carrying the bass he stole from the music room, and Asakura carrying the 2 drums he can carry.
Yeah, it's and the film is very it's very bizarre. It has a very bizarre kind of tone to it, but at the same time, you get the feeling that these guys that these guys want to that they just want to make and create and have fun. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
that's what the guy that I found out this movie from, the video essay, which I can no longer find anymore. I wonder if YouTube's just being fucky with the searches and it's not showing up in the algorithms anymore, or if maybe the video just got deleted. But yeah, so the guy said this movie is just the pure just having fun creating something.
Right, yeah.
And also she just highlighted the scene where, like, when they finally played for Aya, which is like their one friend outside of their group.
Yeah.
Like, she watches them play and, well, good luck. Good luck with what? Like they're not doing this for anybody. They're just doing it just because they're just having fun with
There's
it.
a purity to it. There's like a real purity to like just doing it because it makes you happy.
Yeah. And then eventually they meet the folk music club, which they just ends up meeting them just because they find out their band names are similar.
Yeah, and holy fuck, the songs that
yeah, you
Kobe...
were just vibing to the, like, Kobe Jitsu was the Morita's band.
The Morita's band was fucking fantastic. They have 2 great songs that I need to look up because they just have such a good, like, acoustic line to them. But what's funny is Morita, who's leading the rival band, listens to Kobujutsu, which is Kenji's band, and
like
has
they're just playing just the 2 notes on the bass, just the 2 drums. Like they literally pretty much just formed their band yesterday. They don't even know how to read music, and he's just blown away by them. This is the pure primal urge of rock. You have opened my mind.
Well, that's I don't think that he was lying when he was saying that. I think
it's just the pure essence of rock.
Like, you may not know how to play all the instruments, but you're
vibing with it.
Yeah, like, god damn it, you're just wanting to get your emotions out into music, and I think that's what I think that's what Morita, aka Jim Morrison, saw in
Jim Morita.
Yeah, Jim Morita, because in the final concert, because all this is building up to like a big music festival at the very end of the film, and at the end of the film there's some great music there, where the rival band Kobijitsu,
they go from being just the Peter, Paul, and Mary to eventually being like 70s Beatles.
Yeah,
The Doors.
Yeah. I mean, Morita looks exactly like Jim Morrison, and
except
it's just,
with blonde hair.
Yeah, with blonde hair. What thought Jim Morrison had?
I thought Jim Morrison had brown hair.
Yeah, it was lighter brown hair. Fun fact: my dad actually does not like the Doors because he doesn't think Jim Morrison's a good singer. But
I only really know 2 songs from the Doors. I know "Break On Through" and "People Are Strange."
Fair. I kind of like the Doors, but but yeah, he looks a lot like Jim Morrison. And then Kenji does a full 180 after dissociating from his band.
Yeah, eventually, like during the middle of the film, Kenji just decides, I'm kind of bored with this band idea, but Ota and Asakura they still love being part of the band, so they just practice on their own. But eventually, when it gets to the festival, they're like, oh, Kenji's gonna show up. But then they're just brewing the subplot with the rival high school, just like their own gang of delinquents. Like they have beef with Kenji, so on the day of the festival, they start chasing Kenji down, which Kenji just smashes his bass on the ground and rips a sick recorder solo.
Yeah, he pulls a recorder out from behind his back and just plays this amazing solo. And then he runs while playing the recorder to the concert and
just gets up on stage while the Ota and Asakura are about to play, and they start playing their one song while he starts ripping the sick recorder solo.
But then Kobijitsu,
like
Morita's band,
and the other two start playing with them.
Yeah, and it just, the music kind of evolves, and it has this sort of like Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock kind of vibe to it.
Goes like almost like 10 minutes of just the band, the other band, and Kenji on the recorder jamming.
Yeah, and then eventually Kenji starts singing.
Yeah, he just drops the recorder and just goes, yeah!
Yeah.
The Krusty Krab!
Yeah.
Pizza!
Yeah, he has that exact kind of tone to him. And then...
And the movie just ends with, like, oh, the band's broken up. And then you see Ota and Asakura, it's like, are we gonna practice today? It's like, yeah, I'm sure if we ask Kenji, he'll rejoin the band today.
And then Kenji goes running after Aya.
So Aya, are you dating the guy from the other school? It's like, no, I only know him because we went to the same middle school. Like, okay, so will you go to Disneyland with me this weekend?
Right, yeah. So let's all get together and give our ratings for Ongaku.
Oh, it's an S tier for me.
I'd say S tier. Yeah, it was a nice read.
Yeah, I'd say S tier too because of how.
I mean, I know I didn't speak that much, so I guess I'll just give my opinion now.
Yeah, go for it.
It felt like a live acid trip.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
Also, I remember when I was watching this movie on my own. This movie has real deadpan humor to it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of scenes where just the joke is that the main guy takes forever to respond with just a simple, just deadpan statement.
Yes.
So, like, there's the scene where he decides to form the band with the guys. He just walks into their club room and says, hey, guys. And there's just a full 30 seconds of silence. Let's form a band.
Yeah.
And when I was watching that on my own, I thought my laptop was buffering. The pirate side I was watching it on was buffering, so I just pressed the pause button, waiting for a minute, guys. So, wait a second, the movie's still going.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of sad, I just want to let you guys know that Jake Paul won. Anyway.
What?
Mike Tyson held back.
Damn it, I wanted him to kill him.
Night ruined. Anyway, continue on, Wade. What were you going to say?
Oh,
I hate the Paul brothers. I want them to die.
Okay.
Easy. Jesus. Good thing this is buried 3 hours into the show. Keep going.
S tier all around for Ongaku. I thought it was a very kind of experimental, fun, funny, heartfelt, basically every sort of positive emotion you could get it. There wasn't like a lot of the typical anime drama that you get in something like this. So yeah, I stand with it as an S tier. I agree with you guys. Let's wrap this one up fairly quickly because I know that we all have things to do and
until 2 o'clock.
And events to sulk over. So we finished off the night as any good movie night, any anime movie night finishes off, with a Lupin the Third joint. Lupin the Third,
Hell yeah.
and oh yeah, you know it's gonna be a good day when you hear that jazz riff in the opening. Lupin the Third: The Secret of Twilight Gemini.
There were a lot of boobs in this movie.
Fuck
There was
yeah,
like
there were.
six more boobs than I thought there'd be in a Lupin show.
Right,
What,
and
what was the other pair? I mean, there were the two main female characters, but
Didn't she?
oh,
Fujiko twice.
then well, technically 1.5, because there's like
oh,
scene
right.
where Laura got just one boob exposed.
Quick maths.
Hannah with the boob count.
That's cool. How many butts did she have? Did you ever see that Beavis and Butthead episode?
I mean, there was that one scene where Goemon had to cut Fujiko down from when she was tied up, and you could just see her full ass.
Yeah, well,
Oh, and there was also the sex scene too. I guess just
But
I-
was it
I
a sex
don't-
scene because Fujiko was just humping air at that point?
yeah, I don't even know.
I think Lupin just quickly evaded.
Like, look, Lupin wanted to get that ass, but he didn't. But he also, in as much vigor, did not want to get to catch a case. So he was out of there.
I mean, I'm surprised in that scene where he was running away that he still had his boxers on.
I probably.
I thought he was just going to be running around just covering his junk with his hands.
Do you know what happened in that sequence? They were having fun. Then the assassins came in. Lupin saw the assassins, split, and then
Then just
Fujiko.
left Fujiko there to deal with it.
Yep.
which is.
So my man's still hit. However,
However, he ain't gonna catch a case.
he got it in the pussy, then dipped.
Yeah. So anyway,
the pole was greased. There we go.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, come
Anyway.
I
on.
mean, the Lupin wiki still describes it as a sex scene, so
I don't doubt that, but
pole was greased. I was right.
but what do we think of this one in the Lupin canon?
I'd say it's probably like a good A. You know, I have Fairy Tail straddling the line between A and B. I think I have this one straddling the line between S and A.
yeah.
Fair enough.
I think it's not as good as Castle of Cagliostro, but probably put it just a little bit above Nostradamus.
I would say that it's probably closest in relation to Castle of Cagliostro because it has a lot of the same plot elements as Castle of Cagliostro.
Yeah,
And I did really like the setting. Like I'm kind of a sucker for like
Indiana Jones type.
yeah, and it felt like very much like an Indiana Jones type adventure, and it wasn't super convoluted. Like they actually explain everything.
Yeah.
Like,
And the
as-
movie starts off with Lupin meeting his old mentor on his deathbed, which pretty much in the original script that mentor was supposed to be the original Arsène Lupin,
Yeah,
but they didn't have the rights to use the Lupin name, so they called him Dulon or something.
yeah, they called him.
Dulania.
I think I still have the wiki page open.
Yeah, I had it written down because where is it?
Oh, Daloon.
Yeah, Daloon. Like that whole backstory worked for me. And I don't really have any complaints about this movie one way or the other. It's just like at a certain point it's like, okay, at a certain point you can't really critique Lupin the Third the way we've been critiquing other anime. You almost have to engage it with how it does like its thing best.
Yeah,
Like-
I feel like we've watched enough Lupin the Third things, like these characters would behave this way.
Yeah, like what is how is Jingen gonna help Lupin get out of this situation? How
And I
is
feel like the-
Goemon going
And I
to?
feel like the weird thing was that Jigen only called Lupin boss.
Yeah, I've never seen that in a Lupin movie or show
like he's-
before.
No,
He
that
doesn't
was
really
in-
think Lupin as his boss. It's like
Well,
he's just kind of Lupin's just friend along for the ride.
counterpoint. When we saw the what was it, the Detective Conan crossover?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
when Sonny Strait was first doing that voice, from what we saw, he was calling him boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
It could.
That just kind of feels weird. Maybe that's just the discotheque media dubs of it. Just have him call him boss.
It could be like a title thing, or it could just be like, it's like boss can be a nickname. From time to
Also, then again, technically, the Daisuke family is there to serve the Lupin family, so technically it could be his boss.
That's true. I mean, it depends on how you look at it.
I just kind of see more Jigen just kind of be like Lupin's ride or die friend.
Oh, sure. But one thing that I thought was funny, speaking of Lupin's ride or die, is that how Goemon is introduced into the narrative.
Yeah, Goemon just shows up just like kind of like the halfway end point of the movie where kind of like the main antagonist of the movie is just this gay guy with a whip.
Yeah, Sadashio.
Yeah, Sadashio, just this guy with a whip that, I mean, I don't know if it's in the Japanese, but it's in the English. It's just Lupin just heavily implying this guy's gay.
Yeah, and
talking about a bunch of fucking, what was it?
Yeah, it's like literally his introduction. Like as soon as like Shigachio talks to him, Lupin says, "Oh, I'm sure you like show tunes."
Yeah, which was fucking out of pocket.
Brutal shit too.
Yeah, just Goemon just shows up and like the halfway point just attacks this guy with his sword, just heavily implying they have history together.
Yeah.
I will not allow you to do this anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, what kind of beef do these two guys have?
Yeah, and it's beef that we don't really get introduced to because Goemon is at the center. It's Lupin.
Yeah, which it's another one for the brutal Lupin movie death kill count.
Yeah.
Because how Shigachio dies is that he's fighting with Goemon and he cuts Goemon's sword in half. So that top half just goes flying up in the air. And then it comes back down into his back.
Right, yeah.
It's like, you played yourself.
Basically. I thought Zenigata was used well. Like, I thought it was interesting to see him actually try to achieve his job, and the only thing that was, like, really in his way was the fact that the authorities around him did not want to help him. And it's not because Zenigata was being annoying, it's that, like, the
country has different rules.
Yeah, the country has different rules.
He was thwarted by bureaucracy.
Yeah, effectively he was. But he ends up, as in most Lupin the Third projects, ends up finding himself in a much larger conspiracy than he imagined that he would be in.
It's funny, it's so many Zenigata plots are just that Zenigata's not the bad guy. It's like, mostly he just ends up helping Lupin or just joining the cause.
Yeah.
But still his life goal is to thwart Lupin.
Yeah, thwart Lupin. Fujiko I thought was used well.
I mean, you see her titties like 3 times in the movie.
Yes, that's true. Which is funny.
I mean, one of them was when she was having sex with Lupin. It was...
Well, with Sadashio.
Yeah.
He cracks his whip at her and like...
Then it tears some of her clothes off.
Yeah, and
like he does it like twice or 3 times, which eventually just brings her whole top off.
Yeah, and here's the thing. He's like, after that first hit, he's like, I should start striking your beautiful skin. I'm like, bro, she
was literally wearing a crop top and short shorts. You
have
so much skin to aim at.
How are you missing? How are you? You are a terrible aim.
Yeah, you are only hitting the clothes spots of her. How?
Yeah, it's like, duh. Anyway, but other than that, Fujiko was used well. She had some really cool action moments, especially on the when Fujiko and Goemon like low key like team up at the end, and they just kind of ride around North Africa on Fujiko's motorcycle.
I just love the very end when they finally reach. They put the diamond together at the statue, and it reveals the hidden room where, like, the ancient text pretty much says, The treasure was our village all along. The treasure was the friends we made along the way. She goes like, fuck you, what do you mean I'm not getting any money out of this?
Oh, yeah. And,
Then she punches the wall, which just brings the walls down, which just reveals the whole place was made out of diamonds.
You're right, yeah. Diamonds that they apparently don't extract because,
Lupin just rides away.
Yeah,
on a plane.
Yeah, Lupin just rides away. Everyone goes their separate ways until the next adventure. A tier. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it an A
It's
tier,
a good
too.
Lupin the Third adventure. No real, like, convolutions.
It's like
Nothing that really makes it stand out the same way that, like, Lupin the Third, the First, or Castle of Cagliostro stood out.
Very strange and heavily sexual thing, though.
This
It's
was-
weird for a TV movie from 1996.
Yeah, very...
It's also 1996. Gotta remember, okay, when did,
Ninja Scroll.
Ninja Scroll...
It's like 10 years after Ninja Scroll.
Fair
Also,
enough.
probably like 6 or 7 years after Ridgemont High.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, that's where I stand on this. I'm glad we watched it. It was very fun, very entertaining. Would watch again. So yeah, A tier.
Alright, so we all agree that it's A tier? Alright, cool. We're all tired. It's 12:02 a.m. Let's wrap this shit up.
Yeah,
Alright.
we're like 3 hours in.
3 hours, 21 minutes. We're not gonna be... Jesus, it's gonna be long. Oh, boy. Editing's gonna be so much fun. But, thanks for everyone who's watched to this point. Again, like, favorite, subscribe, whatever the fuck. To keep this YouTube channel in the algorithm, which it's kind of funny how it is actually staying in the algorithm with a monthly upload schedule. However, thank you all for coming. Thanks for suffering through this.
I think we had a good time.
Yeah.
But-
Hopefully we'll see you guys more consistently.
Yeah, and also, since it's coming up, everyone have a happy holiday. Happy holiday. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight, folks. We hope you enjoyed our talk about cons, our talk about anime. Always fun to chill out with you guys. Thank you for just being as awesome as you are. Take care.
Bye.
Alright, everyone, stay frosty and have a good holiday season.